the content creator Kojay.
Yo,
Yeah, how's
what
it
is
been,
up?
man?
It's been
How's
good,
everything?
been busy. I'm
Been
good,
busy?
man.
All right, that's good
Yeah.
to hear, man. Yeah, it's been a busy weekend, man. I did the not the content creator seat. Blurred and Goddess, not this. Uh-oh. Wait till Kojay return. You all right, man?
I dropped the
It's
phone.
all good, man.
Uh,
I was like, something must have came by, so I'll wait till he come back. um, so the first thing I want to talk to you about is what was your early content creator years? Was they really good? Were they really bad?
really
Um,
bad.
really bad? Okay.
Yeah, I was just streaming playing Skylanders with my sister like almost 9
Okay.
years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And yeah, no views, maybe seven, maybe
Views.
40, no
Okay.
interaction,
Okay.
7 subscribers is kind of beautiful. It's precious.
Okay. Yeah, I know how that is. Yeah, the earlier years weren't the greatest either. I'm not gonna lie, Coach. I know exactly what you mean.
It's
Yeah,
all
having
good.
like maybe 8 or 9 subscribers, people weren't really commenting. Here and there, you had like some comments, but some of those people never returned.
I know.
Yeah. So yeah, at least you got through the rough patch, man. I know sometimes it definitely is a rough patch. I think people have this weird perception of a content creator where you don't struggle, but in some cases you do struggle to some degree.
I mean, the competition is wild. I mean, there's just so many of us and so many. What do
Yes,
people want to
yes.
look at? What do people want to subscribe to? What do people want to see or listen?
Right.
Yeah,
Agreed.
but
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of different channels. I've seen paranormal channels, cooking channels, baking channels, life vloggers, music, was it beef between the hip hop artists? There's so many different channels now. It is ridiculous. It's like, man, like this is a
there's
big.
even beef between content creators. I try to
Yeah,
stay away from that. That's crazy.
yeah, that's a thing too. You are absolutely right. That's definitely a
Beef volume
thing.
25.
Yeah, some people feed into that. There's a lane for it, you know what I'm saying? There even the one where I don't know if you've seen the other content creator episode where the dude literally had nothing but women's feet. That was his channel.
All right,
It's like, look, I'm not judging, but hey, if that's his way of like making money, hey, who am I
power
to
to
say
him, man.
like right.
Oh man, it's wild.
Yes. Right. You see some interesting channels for sure. Um, the next thing I want to ask you is this is interesting because when I came to your channel, you know what I'm saying, to subscribe to your channel, it seems like
Thank you.
you're welcome. It seems like you're more of a you have a different lane with YouTube that I've never kind of seen before
And what's that?
on this platform with the watch parties. How did that come about, Koj?
that okay. One thing I always want to do is
Hmm.
kind of put my own commentary on movies available for
Okay.
people to watch, but I think that's kind of boring. But I'm
Okay.
still going to do it because
Okay.
I want to hear that.
All right.
But collaborating with other content creators
Mhm.
has kind of made that available because you've seen my Super Sentai series,
Oh,
and
yeah.
my guests are the Bat Channel, and they've been
Yeah.
doing watch parties before me, and I like their template, how they go
Okay.
about it. It's so much fun because it's another way to enjoy something as
Mhm.
geeks because we love comic books, superhero movies, action
Okay.
movies, fill in the blank, and we love
Okay.
sharing that. So
Okay.
it's a great way to share what we love in
Mhm.
real time with
Yeah.
our community and interact and enjoy what we love together and talk about it right after.
Right.
So it's another fun experience. And then I want to bring my selection, my playlist, because back
Okay.
in the day, I was a fan of like, see, I'm old. I was into
Okay.
cassettes recording off the radio, my favorite song. And it's like, hey, I made a mix and we exchange
Okay.
it. So
Right.
this series of selections I do is movies, comic book stuff coming up. It's pretty much
Okay.
my playlist of my geekdom, and then I could share with people, and I'm having a blast
Okay.
doing it. I'm the biggest fan of my channel, so I make stuff for me.
Yeah, that's a good way to go about it, Kojay, for sure, man. Yeah, because I was like, man, I've seen people do that type of thing, not on YouTube, but more so like Twitch. Like there are a few people I've seen, like before you and maybe before then,
Mm.
but mainly I've seen people do that on Twitch where they have like the watch parties where you watch a movie or a TV show, or even Discord too. I can't forget Discord. People do that on Discord too,
Yeah,
but
I
I'm like,
want to try that on there too. I want to figure out so I could do on Discord and then have the YouTube stream. So I'm trying to work
okay.
that out.
That's interesting. Yeah, I barely use my Discord, man. I was there for a while, and it
It's a
didn't
little
really work out
complicated
for
for
me.
old me mind, you know? I'm like,
Yeah, it didn't really work out for me. I'm not gonna lie. There were people that did kind of come by, but it was like, man, I was like, man, this is too much. You know what I'm saying? Because after a while, people want you to join their Discord community. And then it's like, man, then you kind of feel bad because if you don't join, you're like, well, they kind of helped me out, but you know what I'm saying? It was overwhelming for me. But I mean, if you can do it, bro, props to you. Like I said, man, I mean, to each his own. Some people are able to pull it
I mean, we're
off.
finding out. I don't even know it's in my own, but we'll see.
It's pretty much another way to promote your channel. If you like you said,
Mm.
like different topics, like you can create your own topics. Like if you say Marvel movies, DC movies, you can have a community just based on that with the tabs. It's like a tab setting. Like you can have like either one of the people I know did one with tattoos, artwork, whichever your particular interests are, and you can turn that into a community and you can invite people in to that community.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I
This
guess
is
I gave
very
you a little
cool.
bit of the information on Discord one on one.
I appreciate all
Yeah.
information as long as it's good and helpful.
Yeah. Discord, like I said, it's like I said, some people have been able to get their subscribers from it. I mean, I've had a few from it, but not
Oh, okay.
as many as some people I've seen. I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
You know,
I
that's
was like,
funny. That's a question I think as content creators always ask ourselves with anything. What am
yeah,
I doing wrong? Or what am I doing?
yeah. Yeah, because it works for some people. Like I said, it's some
Mm.
people they're able to get the people. Me, I was like, man, this is a struggle. I'm like, what are you doing that I'm not doing?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
so yeah, definitely, man. So my next question I want to ask you, and I know you're into movies and TV shows. What is
Yeah.
your favorite genres of movies and TV shows?
Okay, if it's movies and TV shows, I would say
Hmm.
right now,
Hmm.
tokusatsu, which is the Japanese sci-fi live
Okay,
action comic book level. We're talking
okay,
Godzilla,
okay.
superhero
Godzilla.
Japanese stuff like Kamen Rider, Super Sentai that gets copied and turned into
Okay,
Power Rangers a year or two later.
okay,
Uh, Movies, I'd say the Korean cinema and I peep Bollywood every now and then because I grew up on that. My family's
okay,
South Indian, so
okay,
gotta represent and enjoy that. So mostly,
okay,
yeah, South Korean and um, Tokusatsu, which is the Super
okay.
Sentai. Like
Yeah.
Godzilla is part of that. So
Oh, see, I
that
didn't know that. I
genre,
knew I did
yeah,
watch
because he's
Godzilla.
sci-fi, and all that,
Yeah.
but
Now that you
Japanese.
explaining it, I kind of understand now. I was like, okay,
Mm.
he's a part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you see all
Godzilla.
those big guys in suits destroying miniatures like they're that's
Right.
part of it too. I like that. Give
So,
me that all
so,
day.
so is Power Rangers in that kind of that same realm, or is
So
it a different genre?
Power
Hmm.
Rangers is okay. You know how like like I don't know if you go to Mexico or Tijuana, and
Hmm.
then they'll sell you a Spider-Man
Okay.
knockoff toy, and the title
Okay.
says Superman from the show
Okay.
X-Men. Something like that. That's how I
Okay.
see Power Rangers. It's the remake,
Okay.
taking scenes from the original Super
Hmm.
Sentai story, and then they
Okay.
reshoot it. They change the story, simplify it, and then they shoot their own stuff. So actually, Power Rangers is not
Hmm.
original. It's like
What?
it's never been original.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what we go over my show in detail. I mean, my shows are long, so I forgive
Yeah.
anyone who doesn't catch up on all the details. But
Wow.
yeah.
So
So what they
Power
do, they
Rangers.
take scenes, they dub over
Mhm.
it, and then they shoot
Yeah.
other scenes in between just to get their story. But like, okay, so Super Sentai,
Mhm.
Ranger, and the
Yeah.
Power Rangers, original Power Rangers we know that came out in 1993. The
Mhm.
show that it's based off of or copied from came out in 1992. So every year
Whoa.
after the Japanese originals made, I think 1 year or maybe even 5 years after it's debuted in Japan and was
Mhm.
made, there's an American
Yeah.
version called Power Rangers, and they just changed the title. And because
Wow.
the Japanese originals started in 1978, I think, and then they've
Dang,
been
that's
going on. So
wow, that's
so
crazy.
I see all the new stuff as they're coming out, and then 2 or 5 years later, I see the American version, and then I'm like, ha ha ha. That's no, because it's crazy.
Imagine.
Because imagine Power Rangers.
Mhm.
It's pretty much Power Rangers director's cut because it's made for kids to be understandable, just like you watch a Jackie Chan movie. Like
Yeah.
kids can
Yeah.
understand it because he's like, "Oh, danger!" Big expressions, simple storylines. The storylines are
Yeah.
very simple, right?
You're
But
right.
imagine now. Here's the thing that you don't get. They curse a
Mhm.
little bit. They'll say
Right.
"damn," "bastard," "f word," sometimes rare, and it's still for
Right.
kids. They have life or death situations. Some of the Rangers get killed.
Right.
They even when they power down, when they get beat up, there's blood. They get
Yeah.
injuries, so the stakes are higher, and I appreciate that because
So pretty much
kids are
Power
smart.
Rangers.
Don't dumb it down for our kids, man. Come on.
So Power Rangers is pretty much a watered down American version. Am I right?
Yeah, it's like G or PG version of a PG-13 borderline rated R for kids, if possible. That's why I love Japan. They have a different mindset.
Japan said, "Look, we a
They
little
take
bit
it
more graphic."
seriously.
But
Yeah.
if you think about it, they are very graphic. 'Cause I remember, I don't know if you're into anime, Dragon Ball
Oh yeah,
Z.
I am. Same
Yeah, like
story. So even Dragon Ball Z, I when it comes out, I always got it.
mhm,
It always hit the Asian stores first, and then the
right.
American dub would come like years later.
Yeah, years
And
later. Yeah.
I like the Japanese one because they take voice acting as like it's acting, no matter if it's kids or adults.
Yes.
So the
Yes,
voice
you're right.
acting is very, very like taken seriously, and you hear character.
Right.
But when I hear the dub, I just can't do it, bro. I'm sorry. The English dub, I don't know. The way they act is like they're
Yeah.
on Dora the Explorer. Like, hey, Gohan, do not go over there. I'm like, I can't do this because I've raised kids, man. My little one, my niece. I seen Dora
That's a
Explorer a lot. I know the
that,
tones.
that's a good
I can't hear that in my anime. No, don't do
that's
that.
a good
No, I
analysis.
can't.
You said Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, the quality. Close your eyes and think about it. It feels like they're trying to educate you on dumb shit. I'm like, no, let's get some drama. Man,
You know what?
they killed Vegeta and brought him back.
I can see where you're coming from with this because
That's just where I am.
yesterday I was watching Naruto in the
Oh,
actual
sick.
Japanese sub. And like you said, you can hear the seriousness. And sometimes when it gets to the English dub, it's not as intense compared to the Japanese sub. So I kind of get where you're
Mm.
coming from with this.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a
It's
style thing. Some people don't
yeah.
like reading, and I'm like, all right, God bless you. Read at some point, enjoy it. But I just can't do the Dora Explorer.
That's a
That's
good
what the
one.
D in dub English dub means for me, Dora.
Dora the Explorer. Oh man. Yeah, that's interesting. So when you said Korean, have you watched Squid Game? Have you seen that
Yeah,
on Netflix? Okay. Yeah, I
that's
just
great.
wanted to know. I think, now that I'm gonna ask you
I
this.
don't do the dub on that either.
So with the Korean shows,
Oh,
I see that's becoming a lot more popular on Netflix. Do you like a lot of the Korean shows on Netflix, or is it more dependent on the type of genre it is?
no, so I started effing with the Korean cinema and entertainment around
Mhm.
early 2000s
Okay. Okay.
because the industry there in South Korea, they were known for more their dramas, which are
True.
like
K
soap
drama.
operas,
Yeah,
but
K
they're
drama.
like
Yeah.
telenovelas where there's a beginning and end. It's not like
Yeah.
Americans where it never ends. It's like, when does this end? They go over a story of a day in like 2 weeks, and it's like, oh my gosh, stop it.
Yeah.
So I like beginning and end. So I don't mind the telenovela style. Yeah, I watch a lot of stuff. I'm random all over the place. But
It's
so
all good, man.
their film industry, for some reason, at some point, every now and then, you get a director who trying to make a film to just like go next level,
Okay.
be it horror, excuse me,
Mhm.
action or suspense. They started doing more of those ones, and then a lot of directors were influenced by directors in America, France, and even Japan, and even some of their directors back in the day who want to go
Right.
beyond and do different genres. So as
Okay.
they were doing those genres, and it looks like there's more directors' creative freedom. A lot of movies I see coming out there, the movies are written by three people, including the director, usually,
Mm.
and directed by the same, the director, of course. So there's a
Mhm.
stronger director's narrative, I feel, that I
Okay.
appreciate because there's more of a committee here in these days in America, and I'm getting
Right.
tired of that. So you get that, and then you get all the actors who are like from the drama, genres
Right.
being normal. So their
Mhm.
acting is way more sincere. So they create more of a stronger story with the characters. The worlds are believable, and I
Okay.
just love it. And I think that's why it connects with a lot of people because you could get a
Okay.
dope action scene, and all of a sudden there's a why am I crying in this scene? There's a tear jerker. I appreciate
Right.
that. So I
Right.
just like the quality that they strive for, and we're seeing it mesh around here and all that. Like even Spike Lee,
Mhm.
his movie Old Boy, that was his remake of a Korean film, which was a classic.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
so it was
Okay.
cool to see him do that. I'm a Spike Lee
Yeah.
fan, but that's not my favorite movie of his. But
He's got another one coming out. I want to say it's another Korean. It's a remake of another
I
Korean.
think so. That's kind of why I
Yeah.
kind of like. Okay, I'll wait for something original from my boy.
I know Denzel's gonna be the main character in the movie. And I
mm,
don't know exactly like who else is casting in the movie. I just know Denzel's attached to it. I do know that. So I
mm.
was like, I'm like Spike
So it
Lee,
has to have a
Denzel.
good budget. It should be good quality then. When you
Yeah,
get
it should
Denzel and
be.
a director like Spike Lee,
Yeah,
so it should be
exactly.
good. And we
Exactly.
expect it to be good. Come on, man.
Right. Expectations, right?
So yeah, that's been my main my favorite go to with the Korean stuff since, and all the stuff that's on Netflix from them is from their
Hmm.
studios there. Like
Okay.
I would actually recommend two Korean Netflix series. One is Kingdom, and
Okay.
it's a period film setting. I think
Okay.
1400s no, it has to be 1400s or 1600s because one guy
Okay.
has a gun where you have to put the musket in barrel.
Yeah, I know what you're
So
talking about.
think of
Yeah.
that time period and all that, and there's a zombie outbreak.
Oh wow.
It's two seasons, and after season, they have a movie that's a prequel to it all, and
Oh wow.
it's
Okay.
really cool. That one, and then there's this other one called My Name, where it's a
Hmm.
story about this girl who witnesses her father in front of their
Hmm.
apartment door. He's
Yeah.
trying to get in,
Right.
but he gets killed by someone. Someone stabs him to death,
Oh
and
wow.
or maybe shoots him. I forget. But then she goes on this. She finds this colleague who is a member of a mafia because her father was a member of mafia. So
Right.
she gets trained to fight, street fight, and do all this stuff. It's gory. Then he has her infiltrate the cops to find her father's killer. And then
Wow.
so she works for the mafia as a cop undercover for the mafia, doing all this stuff.
Okay.
It is
Hmm.
great. So My
Yeah.
Name and
Okay.
Kingdom. Those are my
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
recommendations.
definitely look into those. Have you
Take your
seen
time,
the
it's a lot.
have you seen The Family? I don't know if you've seen Breaking Bad.
Oh, not
It's
yet.
like
That's
the
that Michelle Yo Kung Fu one, right?
I think so. It's a Korean show, where pretty
Or is it
much this
Korean?
guy is like a college professor,
Oh,
but
okay. I'm thinking something
during
else then.
yeah, and during the other part of his day, he's a killer. He's killing people for a living and stuff like that, and trying to balance a family life, and
I
the
gotta check
family
it out now. I haven't
starting
seen
to
it.
catch on. Yeah, if you like Breaking Bad and Ozark on Netflix, that's pretty much the Korean version of that.
Nice. Dude,
And
look
another,
at you. You're helping me out.
oh yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, I like cinema, man.
I know. I
Another,
love your channel. Your stuff with the goddess is great. I try and tune in all the time, man.
I know, man. Yeah, man. It's fun working with people. Like you said, it's fun collaborating with people when you can find people that you want
Mm.
to collaborate with and have a genuine interest in it. So, yeah, it's definitely
Yeah, you
fun,
guys are a
man.
good team. Shout out to the
Yeah,
goddess and you, man. And shout out
yeah.
to my
Thanks,
boys at
man.
Bat Channel.
All right. Shouts out to him as well. Yeah, so that, and then there's another Korean show that I'm watching on Netflix. It's new. It just came out recently. where these people were pretty much scamming with the video game. I don't know if this is based on a true story or not. I got a feeling that it is. And
I haven't
they
seen that
ended
one
up
yet.
yeah, they end up eventually figuring out that the people that they were scamming, they got revenge. They got their money
Oh,
back. They stole their actual money. It's like a guy, a girl, and another guy, and pretty much they were scamming people with the game. And eventually, someone found out that, oh, you think you gonna play it? So now they're trying to open up like a Buddhist temple. You know what I'm saying? Try to make the money back by doing it that way. I was like, okay, this is interesting.
hey, that is interesting.
Yeah, I can't think
Oh,
of the name of it, but it's
but
a
there's a
new
lot. There's a lot.
yeah, I was like, oh, okay. So they got found out that they were scamming these people. One of the people took it upon themselves to get that money back. But yeah, it's actually pretty good. I was like, dang, it said another good Korean show Netflix.
Thank you, Netflix.
Yeah,
Haha.
so I am looking forward to Squid Game season 2. I can't wait to see that because I wasn't interested in the reality TV show. Have you seen that the reality TV show Squid Game?
Yeah, yeah, but I don't want to entertain that stuff. I'm not
So
a
that's
fan of
not
reality shows. Like, man, I'm a fan of
yeah.
pro wrestling. People make fun of it, saying it's fake. I'm like, okay, it's performance based. Chill the f out. But reality shows,
Okay.
it's the
Yeah.
fakest thing I've ever seen because they're like, this is real, this is reality. But there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that are so set up. I'm not a
Yeah,
fan.
that's
Like,
true. Yeah.
I'll go as far as maybe watching Wipeout, maybe, but that's it.
I think the show that I used
If
to
people go
enjoy.
through some course or some challenge thing where they're or the Japanese shows where they put their hands in a box and there's a bunch of worms or I don't know, some weird. I'll watch that, but I'm not a fan of
Okay.
reality.
Okay. Yeah, I think that the shows I used to enjoy that was reality. Pimp My Ride, I found out that was fake. I said, dang, Exhibit. Like, what
Yeah,
are you
dude.
doing?
No, I did like that because
I,
those cars are cool. I was
it,
like,
it looked
man,
really cool. I was like, a
right?
10-second car, the neat speakers, the way the
Right?
rims. I was like, I was outdone when I found out that was fake. I
Oh,
was like,
or they sell those cars
what?
because I was like, man, if you get one of those cars, who
Yeah,
needs a house?
right.
I can forget my apartment, just cruise around, do whatever. Oh
Yeah,
man,
and then the
just
other
live off
show
of
was
drive-throughs and shit.
right. Then the other show was Cribs. I was hurt when I found that was fake. I was like, what? Only person Crib was real from what I've heard was Method Man and Redman. I was like,
Hmm.
you know, only that was the only person. So all the other people were renting mansions and renting houses.
See, man, do you remember the show MTV Cribs?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just getting back. So, yo, I remember I was seeing. I forget who was it. The
Hmm.
Yin Yang Twins. Anyways,
Okay.
it's funny when they were giving a tour around their house. They
Yeah.
looked at a painting, and it was like some Renaissance painting of ships. It was like, look, and I love ships. And it was like, okay, you're definitely improving there. That does not make sense. I have not heard you talk about Renaissance ships in any of your albums. Don't give me that shit. Because you heard Wu
I,
Tang, they make nods to like Mortal Kombat, Star Wars, this and all
yeah.
PLO style. They're
Yeah.
specific on what they like. I never
Right.
heard any Renaissance ships in a Yin Yang Twins song, so don't give me that.
Oh man, no, you haven't.
But no, they are cool though. I like them.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I was hurt when I found that out, man.
Yeah, man. No, I was also hurt with all those the Judge Judy shows. The reality when they're on Judge. Oh man. Because
Yeah,
I used to
so
do background. I tried to get into Hollywood a long time ago, and
yeah,
I used to do background work.
yeah,
And then one of the background work guys, he hit me up. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to be on." I forgot what talk show,
okay,
but it was a talk show where the guys. It's about
hmm,
men who have a hard time getting it up with their ladies.
okay.
And then me and another guy who knew him were like talking and we're like, man, why'd you get on that show, bro? Why'd you put that out there? He's like, no, I really have a problem. Because he's trying to sell the reality of it.
Right.
We're like, bro, that's because we also know another guy was on the show where he's like, yeah, they told me to have a problem with the guy that they broke my PlayStation and I'm suing him for it. And we're like,
That made a
bro, it's not
physical,
wrong. You don't have a problem getting it up. Do you really want to put that out there?
that
And
made a
he's like,
physical
yeah, I do.
storyline.
Oh, I was like, man, they'll make you sell your soul out there. Don't do it.
Yeah, that's wild.
And you say wrestling's fake. So that's my standpoint on that.
Okay. So my next question for you is when it comes down to it, man, like so when you guys did the group, how did that start off? Like when you did the
Which
group
group?
watch parties.
Oh, well, actually, I've been guest on theirs when they do their watch parties.
Oh,
So
okay.
I have to. It was an idea I had, but to actually do it, I have to give props to my boys, the Bat Channel, Trey and Super Corey, because
Okay.
they invited me to a couple of theirs. I think one of the first ones I saw was we watched Prey, the Predator
Okay.
movie on Hulu. Man, that
Okay,
was
yeah, I
cool.
seen that. Yeah.
And we I was watching it live with them, and they invited me for a bunch of theirs. And I already host stuff on my channel a bunch. I do all kinds of things on my channel. I treat
Okay.
my channel like a Netflix, like there's different series of this and that. So
Okay.
that's
Yeah, I did see
um
that.
oh, thank you. So
Yeah.
I really got the practice from them and then the confidence to do it from them. So then when I started my first watch party, it's either Super Sentai or no, it was Super Sentai, I think my first. And then my first live was with my movies series
Okay.
with a retro nerd girl. She's amazing. Highly
Okay.
recommend liking and subscribing to her.
All
And
right.
that's when it kicked off. So this is still brand new for my channel,
Still
and I'm
brand
loving
new?
it.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm glad you
It's
rolled through because I was like, oh, I need that love, So I appreciate you,
yeah,
man, for that.
man. I try to come by when I can, man.
Yeah, we got so much to do, but it's
Yeah.
great that content creators support each other, just like you in the show. This is
Yeah.
awesome you're doing, dog. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you coming through, man. I was like, man, because I know I said earlier, so let me just reach out, make sure it's still happening. Because I said, man, last time I waited to the day of, and the person kind of seemed like they just got
Uh,
cold feet and just changed their mind. I'm like, all
I
right,
know
well,
it's hard sometimes. Once I screwed up, I had a good
yeah,
thank God, we're still friends, of course. I felt
correct,
bad for this, but I screwed up the time zone difference. And I
yeah.
had him waiting an hour. And I hit him up. I was like, "Are
Ah,
you ready?" He's like, "No, I gave up, but you had me waiting an hour." I was like, "Oh, you're 3 hours
ah,
ahead, not 2 hours ahead." Or I don't know what I thought,
yeah.
but it was something around. It was like, "Oh, I felt bad." So sometimes it's hard, getting it
Yeah, it is,
started. So
especially with the time zone differences. Like I said, I've worked with people and sometimes it's time zone difference. Like I worked with someone that was in Jamaica and it was a time zone difference, Africa and just different
mm,
places, even in the US. It's like, let me make sure that the time zone
yeah.
there. And then sometimes I just Google, like if I know like maybe just the country or a particular city
Hmm.
that you live in, I just like, okay, let me just make sure it's around this particular time and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely having collaborations in different time zones does have
Yeah.
its pros and cons. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, one of my buddies, one of my boys, he's in India, the motherland, and it's like a
Right.
13 or 13 and a half hour difference. That's
Yeah.
really hard. We have yet to make
Yeah.
that happen.
Yeah.
uh but it's all a blessing to have it, happen.
Yeah. It's all
So that's
about
like a win
timing.
when it happens.
It's all about timing and figuring
Mm.
it out. That's really what it is when it comes to collaborations. So my next question I wanted to
What's
ask
up,
you,
integrity?
right. Did you have any content creator influences or maybe not?
um, let's see. What do you
Okay.
mean by influences? Like people
Right.
inspired me or
Somebody that
something?
that may have inspired you to maybe do your channel, or maybe just inspired you as you went along your content creator journey.
Okay, I would say the first one would probably be Markiplier.
Okay. Okay.
He would I saw his video of where
Hmm.
he was reacting to playing Five Nights at Freddy when that first came out,
Yeah, I know what
and I
you're
was
talking
like,
about.
he's just reacting and playing video games. I do that on the daily. Let's
Right.
go. So that's how
Let's
it started. And
okay.
also I wear the mask because if I could do life again,
Yeah.
I would instead of going the route of filmmaking.
Hmm.
Actually, I don't know. I love what I'm doing with filmmaking. But if I would do
Okay.
it again and as a reset, just for argument's sake,
Hmm.
I would have continued being a DJ and go to that wrestling school after college and be a wrestler. So the
Oh
luchador
wow.
mask is kind of me half, having a little bit of that old dream.
Okay.
So I figured I'll just have the lucha mask as my persona. And
Personality.
also
or
In a weird
persona?
way, I
Yeah.
feel extra handsome with it. I don't know. I like lucha libre,
Okay.
so I feel
All right.
complete. So it gives me
Okay.
a time to be more myself. So
I thought that it not to cut you off. I thought it pretty
no, it's
much had
fine.
like a mysterious or like a mystery about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Kind of keeping your.
Hello.
Did you see
Rey
some kind of fetish?
Mysterio.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
there
just
are
the way.
some that have like a full on mask. You can't even
Yeah,
see them.
yeah, you do see that. Yeah. So I thought it was just like maybe getting into character, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay,
Yeah,
maybe
but I'm
get
an
into
expressive mother flower, so you guys see my
character.
features, you know. So,
Okay. Yeah, like
uh,
you said, you don't want the full wrestling mask.
yeah. So in a way, wrestling also inspired it, and then the people
Okay.
I've got to know, other content creators, have helped me fine tune. I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I could do this with what I want to express. So
Okay.
it's like martial arts. I'm learning from all my colleagues and people I have a good time with.
Okay,
And
that's what's up.
any bumps in the road, I just, be an adult and move on.
Okay.
I
So
don't get into drama.
there's nothing wrong with that, man.
Yeah, I'm turning 44 in a few weeks, so I
Yeah.
don't got the blood pressure affordable
Yeah,
for
you don't want
drama.
to you
I
don't want
can't do
the
that, dog.
stress
I
and
can't.
all that and
I'm
yeah.
too old for high school stuff,
Yeah.
man. No, not even
Yes.
high school, junior high. I'll say junior high for BS.
Okay.
I don't got time for
So
it.
so my next question for you, since you said you're into wrestling, who are
E.
some of your favorite wrestlers, man?
Oh, it's such a hard list. Like current or all time or back in the day. I need
um,
categories to help me
it,
out.
it doesn't really matter, man. It could be your top five. It could be your current.
All
Wherever
right.
you want to go with it, man.
I'll just throw some out there. First one always top of mind, Vikingo Hidelo. Oh
Okay.
wait, no, not Hidelo. I just know Vikingo. I screw up the second name, but
Okay.
he is a young kid. I think he's only like 22. Wrestler
Okay.
out of Mexico. He doesn't wear a mask though. Not
Okay.
all luchadors wear masks. I think
Wear a
maybe
mask,
10.
right?
I think
Mm-hmm.
10 or 20% don't wear masks.
Okay.
But this guy is a Kobe Bryant of lucha libre, dude. I'll send you some links.
Wow.
Like guys who do one flip, he'll do double flips, and people who do a
Dang.
Hurricane Rana where they jump, get their legs around your head and
Yeah.
flip you, he'll do a flip into it. And he's like
Dang.
crazy. It's like, what? You know how you play Mortal Kombat and they jump forward, they
Yeah.
do two flips in the air?
Right.
He's like actually doing that. Just to get, and he's insane.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I like Ray Fenix and his brother
Okay.
Pentagon or
Hmm.
Penta El Cero Miedo.
Okay.
Swerve Strickland. He's the current
Okay.
AEW champion. He's one of my all-time favorites. He also was known as
Hmm.
Killshot in the Lucha Libre, Lucha Underground scene.
Okay.
Um, who is it? Oh, Will Ospreay. He's regarded in my books one of the greatest wrestlers of all time with Swerve
Okay.
Strickland.
Yeah.
Um, he's like a real life Captain America. You know how you see in Civil War, Captain America does this
Yeah.
flip in the air and then
Living
throws
there.
Spider-Man across the way.
Right.
Again, this guy actually does it, and
Wow.
it's amazing seeing him do it. Uh, of the classics, I love Jushin Thunder Liger from
Okay.
the ladies. Oh man, Baronessa, Lady
Okay.
Maravilla. I love Tom Nakano. She's great. Oh shoot, so
Okay.
many. Starlight Kid. She's
Okay.
amazing. She's Japanese luchadora.
What?
Shoot,
Japanese?
Minor. Oh yeah, Minoru Suzuki.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, list goes on.
Okay.
Shoot, so many.
Yeah, it's
I still like Shinsuke Nakamura. He's
okay.
great too. Oh man,
Yeah,
so
man. It
much
seems like
talent.
you.
Yeah, I got a
Yeah,
lot.
it seems like you got a
Classics.
lot of
I like.
exposure.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
Macho Man. He's good
that's
of
a good one. Yeah,
the
Macho
classic
Man.
ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
Macho Man was good.
Hmm.
Eddie Guerrero. He's also one there.
Yeah.
Definitely, he's got to be in
Yeah.
the tops.
Right.
Mercedes Monet. Snoop
Okay.
Dogg's cousin, who's now in AEW.
Okay.
Uh, shoot, Thunder Rosa. So
Wow.
many. Oh,
Yeah.
in the indie scene also, I gotta give it up to J Rod. She's
Okay.
oh sorry, I was
Hmm.
hiccuping and burping at the same time. J Rod,
Oh man.
uh, and from West Africa, Queen Aminata. She's been exploding this year. This has been a good
Oh
year for her. I'm a
wow.
big
See,
fan of her.
man. Yeah, you know
So
you're wrestling, man. You
yeah,
are
dude.
really. Yeah, you're really
I
ingrained
love
into
this
it,
stuff.
man. Yeah, I could definitely tell, man. Yeah. So do you go to like the WrestleManias when you get a chance, or you
Well,
kind of
I'm
just
kind of tired out with WWE. To me, it's
okay,
kind of I've done that too many times, and I've gotten used to their style,
okay,
and they're kind of okay. I'm not knocking them. They focus more, in my opinion, they
hmm,
focus more on the theatrics of pro wrestling.
true, true,
Um,
yeah,
like they'll get hit and laid down, and then
hmm,
like, oh, that was so painful. They'll act it longer, but in the other ones, I feel like how pro wrestling evolved outside of it,
hmm,
it's a lot faster. It's almost like you know how
okay,
you play a video game and your life bar goes down in a fighting game,
yeah,
and
right,
then you have a bonus, you hit and your life bar gets
right,
up. Ding! They
right,
have that in the other one, so they'll get hit
yeah,
and like, no, I'm still good, and then they have a little energy spent, and they tell the stories while they're fighting instead of
okay,
outside of the stuff. So that's why I kind of like the stuff going on now with AEW,
okay,
in Japan Stardom, and in Mexico CMLL. Those are my top three shows I follow.
okay.
So that's more my style. There's a little style difference. So
So,
I don't
so
really do the
check,
WrestleManias. I follow everything AEW does. I don't like AAA, but I always check out Triple Mania.
okay,
That's like their WrestleMania, and they do amazing shows for that. I like their booking. My problem with
okay.
AAA in Mexico, I don't like it, is because they're announcers. Usually when you have
Oh,
an announcer, it's only for
mhm,
the television. When you go to shows, you
right,
don't hear the announcers. In
right.
AAA, the announcers are heard over the big speakers, and I feel that
Mm,
throws the wrestlers off sometimes
okay.
because
So
you're wrestling, you're focusing on the guy because a lot of it's improvised in the ring.
yeah,
And
yeah.
if you hear someone speaking an announcer, I don't know, might throw you off. I don't know, it just makes you feel uncomfortable. That's the only
So
reason I don't like AAA.
okay. So integrity 101. So any thoughts on wrestler from 2009 with Ricky Rourke and Marissa Tomei?
Oh
If
yeah,
you
Mr. Tomei. Yeah,
yeah.
I love that movie so much. That movie gave more affection and appreciation for the independent scenes because a lot of these wrestlers are trying to, get known. So they do
Yeah,
these wrestle matches that are held in backyards or garages or high
yeah.
schools at gyms that they get to rent out, and they maybe get like maybe $70 to maybe $250 for their night, or maybe 500 if they're lucky. I don't know the rates nowadays, but it's a
Okay.
tough grind just to get to any big lead that has a big stage to showcase you.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
that show showed how hard it is for some wrestlers who don't make it to the big screen, and how they still continue. And when they do, because the wrestler Mickey Rourke's character, he had some big matches in his day, but he was kind of towards the end of his career. And
Okay.
in the end of the movie, spoilers, movie's been out
Okay.
for a while, so that's on you all. But
Right.
when he died, he was having a heart problem. So the idea is when he dived off, he died, right?
Okay.
In the end. So it showed how hard it was that some people die, wrestling and whatever. And
Yeah.
I think it was like, I think it was 2019. La Parca.
Mhm. Yeah.
He's old. He did a dive out of the ring just like the wrestler, but he was going through the ropes, and something happened like a seizure. I have to look it up. It's really hard because I saw the footage and he
Mm.
fell down, and then he died that night. So the
Ouch.
wrestler had a true life story with La Parca in a way, like the ending, and
Yeah,
that
the
just broke
ending.
me. So the wrestler, 5-star movie, man. That just captured
Yeah,
what
it's
wrestling's
yeah,
like,
Integrity
and
101
all
said it
these
was a great
wrestlers have a
movie.
hard time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
Definitely.
not a hard time, but it's like it's a life like rock and roll, like, or any of the music scene. You're on the road, you probably
Yeah.
party too much. Jake the Snake Roberts had some hard history life. If you see that movie Beyond the Mat, the documentary of the wrestler's life, how it's not always
Mm.
pretty. The
Yeah,
wrestler
yeah, I
captured
heard it.
all the
Yeah.
passion and ugliness and imperfection, but also heart of pro wrestlers. And so that's a great movie. That was
Okay.
oof.
Yeah, they said it. Yeah, Integrity said it's a great movie. So
Yeah,
my
I
next
agree.
question for you is did you have a monkey name before Kojay or something
No.
different?
Oh,
No?
okay. Well, no, I did have a gamer tag called Doctor Mofo, um, but that was just that was just in the video games,
Okay.
Um, when I started this, it's always been Lord Kojay. I wanted it just Kojay,
Okay.
but I think someone else took it, It's not an
Oh
original
man.
name. Yeah, it's not an
Okay.
original name. It's like an old Asian name or whatever. There's actually a British Chinese hip hop rapper named
Mhm.
Kojay, and his stuff is
Wow.
actually pretty fly. His stuff is
Okay.
dope. Is dope.
Okay.
I checked him out because I was like, who else is named Kojay, right? So um, that's cool. So my idea is with my handle, it's just a handle. I like going by Kojay
Okay.
because I don't know if you know in India whenever you know how like I'll just think of a movie like Tango and Cash. It's
Okay.
two characters and there's an and. In
Okay.
India, their Bollywood movies, they don't have an
Mhm.
and. Like if it's Romeo and Juliet, it would be Romeo Juliet.
Oh.
Or there's this other action movie of Karan and Arjun. They're brothers. It's an action movie where they get
Hmm.
revenge on something that happened to their family, but it's
Okay.
just called Karan Arjun. So when I look at my tag, it's Lord Kojay, Lord and Kojay. You know, God and
Hmm.
then me, because I'm a big God lover. So that's
Hmm.
my handle. That's why I
That
was like, all
that's
right, let's go with that. And I have a
that's
comic book character who's a knight, so who named Kojay. So I was like, I'll go with that. It's personal and no one's doing it. Here we go.
that's interesting. Yeah, I
I like
went
putting
through.
thought into things. I try.
Yeah, that's an interesting take on your actual channel name. And also, the other one sounded like a supervillain, man. The other
I actually
name,
have him as a supervillain in one of my video games.
it was giving me supervillain vibes. I'm like, dang, the other name sounded like it was a
Yeah, no, I
supervillain.
used it too. Dr. Wolf was the nemesis of your boy Kojay. We do get out in my wrestling video games. There's a storyline.
Oh man, yeah, because I was like, I said, dang, if he would have went with the other one, it would have gave me like villain vibes. But
Yeah,
hey,
I can't do that, dog. Maybe if I get really angry one day and I give up on my values, maybe who knows? I know it's not gonna
yeah,
happen, but yeah.
I yeah, I went through some channel names and like for
How
a
many?
minute, I want to say 5 or 6.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, it's hard.
the first one wasn't really great because it was kind of like what I was doing with my old content that I no longer have on the channel. Where I was like, I was trying to do motivational, like you know how they do the videos and you just put the wording and maybe add some music to it. I grew bored with that. It was like ambitious, was ambitious brother 101. I was like, this is boring. I like the name was
What
cool
was
for the
boring?
time.
Like you didn't like doing it, or
Well, just putting a video together and with pictures and words, it kind of it got stagnant. You know what I'm saying? Like just thinking about
uh
doing something like that. And then I said, well, let me find something else to do that's a little bit more interesting. Then I went with PCS, which is based off the X-Men character Charles Xavier, that was the other name.
hey.
Then I went with Live. Then I went with
I know you
Live.
like X-Men. That's cool.
Yeah. Then I went with the Live with the exclamation point. And then Ill Blurred Matic just stuck out way more. I remember when I changed it, a lot of people still weren't getting like how to kind of go with the name. There were a lot of people that liked the idea of me going with a new name because a lot of people were fed up with the old name, PCS Live, and Charles S Live too. That was the other thing. So
Oh, okay.
um, but I think with Ill Blurred Matic, it was to me, it fit me. It was like something unique, you know what I'm saying? Because the other name, I don't know if you know, PCS Live, PCS I was sharing with somebody. So like the
Oh.
person was doing like motor boats and car repair videos. And I'm like, let me see if someone else has this name. And I was like, oh, they doing something completely different. They're not doing what I'm doing with the content at the time. Like I did Dragon Ball Z, you know what I'm saying,
Hey.
anime, Marvel, DC stuff. Um, and I was like, okay, but I'm like, nah, I want my own name. I want to kind of stand out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Ill Blur Matic just fit. It was like, you know what,
I
this is
love it,
it.
bro.
Yeah. I
You
had
got
to
the
go.
illness, the blur, the black nerd, and then
Yeah.
Matic just adds extra power to it, like
Yeah, just
amazing Spider-Man, another handle.
right, yeah, it kind of gives you
Next
like a comic
level.
book feel.
I
No, like
like it,
low
dude.
key, Kojay. It was like a couple years ago on Twitter. People were hitting me up in the inbox like for rap features. I'm like, I'm not a rapper. It was the funniest thing. I was like, yo, man,
Dude, that's how you
peace
know
and
you got a name.
buzz.
You got an impression. That's good. They're like Ilbert Manic. Dang, when's the album dropping?
Right. And then it was like a guy that was like from Def Jam. Yo, man, we can help you.
Oh.
We can help you
Oh,
get a
no way,
record.
bruh.
So every now and then I do get someone that's like that. They'll follow me on Twitter and think I'm a musician. Like I never put in the bio that I'm a musician. Like I can see it as like, hey, he said he was a musician, up and cutter recording artist. I'm like, nah, I didn't put this in the description. But I guess,
Man.
like you said, the name has like a hip hop edge to it, so people just automatically think, yo, he's a rapper. He got some bars.
If anything, I'd say you're a singer because I love your welcome, welcome. That was
Yeah,
like nice. That's nice,
I got
dog.
yeah, I got that from Bone Thugs and Harmony. I did actually
That
when they
makes
do like
sense.
yeah, when you think about it, I was like, yo, because if you think about
Meet you
it,
at the crossroads.
right, if you think about it, there are not many people that sing intros on YouTube. So like there's only a
Mm,
small niche, not a big percentage. And if you can make something that's catchy, that gets people's attention, then that's the way to go. You know, I tell people like if you can make an intro that's really unique, people would be interested in checking out your stuff. It may be
I
hard
agree.
because I went through a couple intros, I'm not gonna lie. But if you can find something that really sticks out and people really like the idea of it, hey, they'll run with it. You know what I'm
It
saying?
also
So
sets the tone for your show, you know?
yeah.
When it starts like, ah, okay, we're ready. Let's go.
Right.
It's a little extra, icing on the cake. I like it, man. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, many people don't have singing or rapping intros. There was another channel, I don't even know if they're still around. They had a dope rap intro. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, yo, and I thought
Wow.
about it at some point in time, like, yo, I could do a rap intro. I mean, I do sing a little bit.
There you
I
go.
was like, but I'm like, I could do a rap intro. Like, it inspired me to like really think about doing a rap intro at some point, and I was like, man, do I really want to do a rap intro or singing intro? It's like, I think the singing one would be more appealing compared to rapping. Not to say that it wouldn't have been a good idea, but I think the singing one people just loved a lot more probably than a rap idea.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah,
my
it's
buddies,
fun.
his name is Il Divino Vega. He's a rapper
Mhm.
who does content stuff, and
Okay.
he just put one of his songs in the intro and did a collage. And I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
nice. So if you
Yeah.
can
It's
rap,
fun.
that'd be good. But shoot,
Right.
I like your singing, bro. I like your singing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I just thought it was just a good idea. It's like, man, it's not many people doing it, so it's not like I'm have to worry about like everybody else. Like, man, they got all these singing intros. What I'm gonna do different. It's like, no, it's only like I said. I think it's only like 3%, 5%, somewhere up
Oh
in there.
wow,
Yeah, it's
wow.
not many people. And like I said, the person that did their rap intro for their channel, like I said, I don't even think they're still around. I thought it was dope. I was like, man, it's catchy, and it was like a family YouTube channel. I do remember that. I said, yo, it was a dope rap song. Like the kids could be into it, adults could get into the song. I was like, this is dope.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, I went through a couple intros right along with names.
It's always a process, People don't
Yeah, it
know.
definitely is. Yeah, definitely for sure. So my next question I want to ask you about how do you feel about the current state of movies? Like I know you're a big movie person. Do you like
Yeah.
that maybe indies becoming more popular nowadays or maybe just
hmm
mainstream movies are not as good as they used to be?
Well, since COVID, I don't know. I feel like the studios have got more picky or taken over because I feel like these movies coming out are made more by a committee that's pushing things out too fast. So some things
I
come
agree
out
with you on
choppy
that.
or sloppy.
Yeah,
Because I don't know. It's like um when I see a movie, I want to see the movie for the director, and for me, I feel it needs a solid direction or vision. Now, director
right.
being the
Mhm.
artist, and everyone's a team of it. So,
Right.
best way I can relate to it, how I feel is like a music album. So,
Okay.
like, let's say I want to buy a Michael Jackson album.
Okay.
God bless him,
Okay.
rest in peace. He was
Right.
alive. I'm expecting songs made by Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Right.
Yeah. So I'm not expecting to buy an album
Mhm.
by Michael Jackson, but all the songs are remixes. you know.
Right.
And when I get an album, I want the artist. And if it's like a mixtape of a bunch of different artists and they're all remixes, I
Right.
don't like that. That's how I feel like some of these movies come out. That's why some of them are
I,
choppy because when
I
there's a
can see.
committee, there's a lot of
Mhm.
changes. There's a
Right.
lot of unless it's like a team that works well, like a group. You know, you
Yeah,
get
like a
some
group.
movies that it's a director, two directors, like the Russo
Yep.
brothers,
Russo
or
brothers. Yep. I was just about to
or
say
you
that.
get like what I call like a triple threat where there's a certain producer that's always with them, there's a certain
Yep.
director and a certain actor. How many
Yep.
times have we seen Tim Burton movies with
Hmm.
Danny Elfman and Johnny Depp? Like
Johnny Depp. Right.
that's their
Yeah.
triple threat. So
That's
that
a
works. They
triple
have
threat.
a fine well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
So you'll get certain templates like that. But as long as there's a fine well-oiled machine, and I think the best bet is with the director, that's cool. But a lot of movies are made by committees, I feel, these days, because a lot
Okay.
of the people who are in the producer slots were in the TV genre in the 90s,
Oh,
and a
okay.
lot of television is made more producer driven
Hmm.
because they do a lot of changes before the episode or show drops. It's
That's
rare you
true.
get series
That's
where
true.
because each episode of any series would have a different director. It's rare you
Yeah.
get one creative looking over the whole series. Like
Yeah.
Joe Michael
That's.
Straczynski did that with Babylon 5. He overlooked everything. So it was
Yeah.
more fine tuned, but that's rare.
Right.
So nowadays, I feel like I think the TV producing logic from the 90s, the people also made the
Hmm.
Power Rangers, are
Right.
or that Power Ranger logic are trying to committee like force a movie people will buy into at first glance and get
Okay.
it out there as fast as possible. I feel like
Wow.
that's the logic, and all the sincerity of storytelling takes a back seat. And I
Yeah.
feel the audience isn't stupid. You know, no matter how we have different opinions or different views or different tastes, the
Right.
audience is never stupid. And you
Right.
have to treat the audience with respect and not try and fool them into something that they think they're getting just to, you know, it's not a
Hmm.
cookie cutter business. And I feel
Yeah.
that's the problem with a lot of stuff going on. And I feel that's why maybe people go more to anime because they respect
Yeah.
the source material more, or
Yeah. They
why
do.
people
Yeah.
go out of country like me. You know, I'm all South Korean tokusatsu and all this. So
Right.
I think that's what's suffering. And then when we hear like I feel director's cuts shouldn't even exist. Every movie coming out
Hmm.
should be a director's cut from the get-go.
Hmm.
That's my
Hmm.
personal opinion. I think
That's
that would be
that's
great.
that's
Imagine if we
interesting,
had that
Kojay.
world, you know? If
That's
every
very
film
interesting.
came out was a director's cut, that'd be cool. Why does there
That's
have to be alternate cuts?
That's interesting, Kojay. You're probably one of the first people that I've heard say something like that's a very
Like
interesting
there
take.
shouldn't
I'm
have
not
to
gonna
be
lie.
director's cuts. All movies should be director's cuts. Because yeah,
So it-
I buy the album of Michael Jackson. I'm expecting Michael Jackson, not a remix by Dr. Dre. No offense, Dr. Dre,
right.
and all
So
this.
integrity says exactly. It seems like Hollywood is eating itself. Movies by committee suck. We need directors with a vision. And he also says a lot of watered down garbage these days. And I want to
'Cause-
look agreed. So yeah, I agree with you, Kojay, because the new Daredevil show that's coming out is supposed to have like multiple directors. And I'm not to say that sometimes it doesn't work with multiple directors. What's going on, Aries?
Hey,
Um,
Aries, yeah.
yeah, so I agree with you on that because like there's some shows that can work with like Mandalorian, it did work. I'm not gonna lie, with the different directors and Ahsoka,
But they had a
Star
director
Wars
overlooking a
shows.
lot of it, and they were very they also consulted and listened to George
Yeah,
Lucas a lot.
to George
Where the
Lucas.
prequel movies, the sequel movies, they didn't listen to George Lucas.
They didn't.
That's a
It
good
took a
example,
bad
in my
seat.
opinion.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But yeah, I think some shows it could work with like different directors for multiple episodes. Some
Yeah,
shows
yeah.
it can't, depending on the type of genre they're going with. Now with Daredevil, it can because it's a superhero TV show. It's not like a regular court show or crime thriller type of show.
Mm,
So yeah, but having different directors does take a toll on some of these TV shows when it comes down to it.
mm,
Movies, you're right. There's usually a team. You got the maybe the big executive producers that's in the movie. Oh, he's worked on John Wick or whatever movie it is. Then you have the big actor, like you said, maybe a
mm-hmm.
Denzel or some other big actor. and then you have like the executive producer that's well known. So yeah, it's like a 3-man or a 3-man team when it comes down to it, or a committee to some degree, like you said.
Mm,
So yeah, definitely
yeah.
interesting. So how do you feel about director's cut for video games? Since we're talking about director's cuts.
That's interesting to me because when that started coming out, I didn't know that could be a situation. But
Right.
it makes sense because you see how video games with how the technology advanced from
Yeah,
16-bit
yeah,
to 32-bit to
yeah,
now things are like 1080p.
yeah.
Some of the discs are like PAL format or NCT. I'm getting the letters
It's
mixed up,
all good, man.
but the quality has become more cinematic with video games that they actually have like a theatrical like directing team to go
Yeah,
over the cinematics. So
right,
I could see how there's more of a cinematic difference of opinion with the final product, and then all right, we'll do the director's cut version. So I would say it could possibly be the reverse, how movies are directors driven and then committee situation come in. But when
right,
making a video game, you have a committee situation. Now you have director's vision coming in. So maybe it's
right.
something that's finding itself. Because then you have
Hmm.
Death
Okay,
Stranding, which is like
right.
super director driven with
Yeah,
Kojima. So then
right.
it's kind of like a new uh level video games have gone to because video games have
Yeah,
advanced in their quality and sophistication with
yeah,
storytelling, which I
yeah.
think
That's
is
true.
wonderful.
Because the reason I asked is because I know a lot of people were upset with Naughty Dog keep redoing The Last of Us 2 and Last of Us 1 with these directors. Because like, well, how many more chapters are you adding into this game? Like, it can't just be
uh
where you're adding 3 or 2 chapters, and that's what people have been saying, that they've been adding 3 new chapters, 2 new chapters. Like, that's not a
I
director's
also
cut. I mean,
we gotta ask ourselves: are they trying to do sequels but don't have enough budget for a full game, so they're just trying to jam pack stuff into a sandwich that they
that's
already
what it seems.
got, that's already
That's
sold? So
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what
know.
it
That's what
seems
I
like.
suspect. They're trying
That's what
to
it.
give us more, but maybe there's some limitations they got on their end.
Yeah,
It's
maybe
a
that's what it
tough
is.
business.
Yeah, it is a tough business. But then again, Naughty Dog confirmed they're doing The Last of Us 3. We're just not getting it on the PS5. It'll end up coming out on the PS6.
I'm gonna watch some gameplays on that one. Who's streaming it? I'm gonna subscribe right now.
Yeah, so
Oh
that's the
man.
thing. So maybe it's like an appetizer, pretty much. It's like, oh, look, man, we got the mozzarella cheese this here. Oh, we got the fried,
Or maybe
zucchini
they're
on
trying to push that out to get the funding and also help people sell the PS6 because PS5 and PlayStation not doing too well these days.
that. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
there's some politics there. Who knows?
because I think the Nintendo Switch was the fastest selling console out of this
Mm.
out of the Xbox and the PlayStation 5. So maybe you're
It's the
right.
first one I was able to get out of the three. Yeah.
Yeah, I got my Switch. I don't have a PS5 just yet. Yeah, I'm waiting on the black one. I'm still waiting on that black one.
the
Come on.
the PS5 is the final one I got, man. I don't know. This whole generation is stormtrooper color to me. My Xbox is white and black. The PS5 is white and black. My Nintendo Switch is white and black. I'm like, dang, stormtroopers.
Yeah, I got the black
But
one.
I
Yeah,
like it all black, man. Sure.
yeah, I do too. It's
Batman and
easy to do.
Blade, all black.
Yeah, and then the thing is you don't have to clean it as much. You gotta rub it
Mine's
down.
behind my TV. You can't see that shit.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I guess, like you said, maybe the director's cut is like an appetizer or a cookie cutter. Say, hey, look, we're
Mm.
gonna give you this until we finish the next installment of the game, and there you go. You're like, oh, okay.
I miss the days when you didn't need DLC. Remember when you get a game and you just unlock all the characters? It's all there. It's like, yeah, all you have to do is put the time into the game and you got it. Now I
Right,
gotta put some money. It's like, oh, now my Tekken roster is complete.
right.
Shit. Sometimes I'll wait just to get the full package. I don't know.
Oh, you like me when it comes to DLC. I wait till they give the full package. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely interesting though. Yeah, because you know what? There are some games that give free DLCs that's already in the game. I know when I
Mm.
beat Kirby Return to Dream. No, yeah, Kirby Return to Dreamland on the Switch. Once you beat the game, you play as the villain in the game later on. So you're playing from the villain's perspective, learning how to use his abilities and everything. It's a bit
Mm.
harder from the Kirby version of the game, even though the Kirby version was pretty hard. I think Kirby games in their most
Kirby
recent
games are
years,
great.
yeah, they're great, but they're getting harder now. Like they're a bit more of a challenge than they were on the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and Game Boy. So yeah, props to HAL Laboratory for doing that because I'm like, yo, they've been stepping it up with these Kirby games. They're getting a bit harder. Like Kirby Return to Dreamland. Once I got to like the last two bosses with Kirby Story, that was hard. That was intense. It took me quite a bit to figure out the boss's movements, and then when you fight his other form, I mean, that was a challenge.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
makes sense now why Kirby kicks so much butt in Smash Brothers because
yeah,
Kirby's been through battles, baby.
right.
I got you.
Yeah. So, how do you feel that now that we're talking about DLCs?
Mm.
Do you like the free DLCs, or are you more invested into the paid DLCs?
I like free all the time.
Free. Okay.
I'm only invested in the paid if I really, really, really love the game and want to
Okay.
stay on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love Tekken a lot,
Right.
but I wait till a lot of stuff's already out. So I'm not one of those cool kids. It's like, oh, new Tekken game. Let's go to Kojay's channel. No, you got to wait a year or two for me. But
Yeah.
so I just play older Tekken games until it's cheaper. So I prefer the free just because that's a more old school. That's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
So if it's paid, it has to be something like I really like. Like
Yeah.
I love supporting AEW, so their video game Fight Forever. Whenever they have a new collection of characters, because they said over time they're gonna release characters. They told us ahead of time,
Right.
So it's like, all right,
Okay.
I'll buy your season pass every now and then,
Right.
$12, okay, and
Yeah. Okay.
so I'll give a hall pass to certain games depending on how much I love it and want it.
Yeah,
But I prefer free.
that's how I am with Super Smash Brothers. When I found out
Mm.
that they had the fighter pass, I was all for it. I'm like, look, I'm invested in this fighter pass. I want all these characters because I
Yeah, the
want to whip
characters
all
make
my
that game
cousins in
great.
these games in this Smash Brothers game. I also with Mario Kart, I like that they give the DLC, the paid one, and you get your money's worth because you're getting multiple tracks, new
Mm.
characters. You know what I'm
Because the
saying?
tracks are so good, man. In Mario
Yeah,
Kart, man, that's like a whole new section of the game, new level, man.
yeah, it is,
And
and
the
not even
detail in Mario Kart is fantastic. Oh, I
it
love it.
is. And did
They
you
want me
hear
when they
about?
got motorcycles. I was like, all right, I'm back in Mario Kart. Let's do this.
Did you hear about them having another track, and I think a few more characters are going to add to Mario Kart 8?
Yeah, I heard, but no, nothing
Yeah,
more than who they are or what kind. Do you know?
yeah, and then I heard that Mario Kart 9 is going to pretty much be a Switch 2 exclusive. I'm like, yes. Just
Ooh.
keep doing like y'all doing with 8. Keep giving us tracks and more characters. I'm all for it. Right along with Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers also supposed to be another exclusive for the Switch too. So I'm like, yes, we're getting a new Smash Brothers game. Because for a minute, we weren't gonna get that. But I guess
Mm.
how Laboratory was like, yo, we may as well go and put out another one. Everybody else is enjoying the game. So, you
Hmm.
know. So that was a smart move about if you think about it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but Nintendo, they're very consistent.
Yeah, they
Because in
are.
a way they have been making the same game over and over, but they fine tune it
Yeah.
so they don't have to take risks, but in their house.
Right. In their house.
So
Right. Right.
uh, th- it's and then they have their own rules establishment. We love their characters and their
Right.
quality because their game Nintendo's gameplay is always smooth.
Yeah.
Whatever game
You're
you're
right.
playing,
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that they focus on gameplay.
Yeah,
Like
they really
you
do.
could have a
You're right.
realistic, dope game,
Hmm.
where it looks amazing and looks so realistic. But some of them are weird when you jump and you can't get to that. There's some tech that's like, how come I can't make it there? Come on, what's up? Yeah, that's where I get stressful. I'm like, oh, screw this.
Ah.
But Nintendo is pretty solid always with
Yeah.
the gameplay, and I like that.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Nintendo does tend to have more smoother gameplay. And even when I know with Pokemon, because I have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on the Switch, even when they were having issues with glitches and stuff, I didn't have as many glitches. It seemed like Nintendo really buckled down, like, look, this is our game right here. This is the one that's making
Mm,
us big money. Let's get these updates going for the game to make it more smoother experience for the players. And they really did, even cool new features and additional stuff. And I'm like, okay, Nintendo, you heard what people were saying with all this glitching. Because I remember when you were riding the Pokemon in the game, literally, like sometimes you'd be flying and you'd be stuck like flying, and you can't see the Pokemon that you're riding on. You're like,
Oh
what's up
damn.
with that? But they, like I said, the gamers at Nintendo know, like, hey, y'all, you need to go on and give us some updates. We don't want all these glitches. Long as they're not like
Yeah.
Ubisoft. Like, I think Ubisoft has the worst glitches for like Assassin's Creed. I mean, I had Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I was disappointed with that game. There was so many
Oh
glitches.
really?
I never got past the first stage. As soon as I got,
Dang.
yeah, so I'm like, Ubisoft, y'all gotta get y'all act together. And I mean, Assassin's Creed
That's a bad
Origins was
name,
like,
dude. They're going rolling with soft. It's like they're
now
living
I,
up to it.
now I will say that Prince of Persia, the one that I got on the Switch, the new one,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have any problems. So I'm like, okay, Ubisoft,
All
y'all
right,
need
that's
to,
good.
yeah. So I'm like, they need to figure out what they need to do when it comes to PlayStation and maybe Xbox, because clearly that is not working when it comes to certain stuff. Because Nintendo, like, hey, we
Dang.
gonna make sure it's smooth over here, even though we in cartridge format.
That's good to know because I haven't played that game yet. So when I do, I'll go switch on that one.
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah. So that's interesting though.
Hmm.
But my next question, and this is something that I'm like, man, I want to know probably, and I'm saying I haven't asked them. What are some of your top video game movies or TV shows?
Oh, number one is the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie. That's number one.
Ooh, that's a
That's
good one.
always number
That's a
one.
good one.
Multiple
That's a good
reasons,
one.
man. Back
Ooh.
then, I had so much hope and high expectations for where martial arts was coming with American
Mm-hmm.
films. And
Yeah.
that movie,
Mm-hmm.
damn, dude. All right, I'm a big Bruce Lee fan. How
Okay.
they went about that movie, I felt it was like a remake of Enter the Dragon. Think about it. You have three main heroes, three
Yep.
main warriors, go
Mm-hmm.
to an island
To an
hosted
island.
by a
Yep.
villain where they have to
Right.
fight in a tournament that will
Yep.
affect the world.
Yeah.
That's Enter the Dragon.
That's
And
Into
then
the
the lead,
Dragon. You're
and
right.
the lead was an Asian brother. That's
Yep.
so rare in the 90s. That's what
In the
Bruce Lee
90s.
wanted to fight for. Now we're getting
Right.
that. We have Michelle Yeoh who got an Oscar. That's
Yeah.
great for the Asian community. And
Right.
not only that, they focused on good choreography.
Yeah.
So, and I'm a big fan of, wrestling. I love action choreography. So they did
Okay.
what you rarely see. They took the Hong Kong style. Back in the day,
Right.
it was more hard hitting before Hong
Right.
Kong went over to Chinese rule, and then it was more restrictions. That's
Right.
probably why I switched to Korea then. But
Okay.
when they had more hard hitting style, the actor Robin Shu, who played Liu
Hmm.
Kang, he
Yeah.
choreographed two of the fight scenes. He choreographed Reptile and Liu Kang fight
Wow.
scene, and he brought his boy Keith Cook to be Reptile. Originally in the story, he was
Wow.
supposed to just step on Reptile and then he would die. But he's like, no, let's have him transform and add a fight scene. And then the actor Robin Shu for Liu Kang, he also choreographed Johnny Cage versus Scorpion. Because in
Wow.
that one, when Scorpion shot the thing,
Yeah.
uh, Johnny Cage was going to do a shadow kick, and that would have ended Scorpion. But he's like, no, let's have him
Wow.
do something where they go to another place, like teleport, go to another stage, because that happens in Mortal. Because at the time,
Right.
Mortal Kombat 3 came out.
Yeah.
When you hit a guy and he goes to
Yep.
another stage.
Sage.
So they
Yeah.
implemented that into that story, and then that actor choreographed Johnny Cage versus Scorpion, and all the other fight scenes were
Hmm.
choreographed by a guy named Pat Johnson,
Okay.
who worked with Bruce Lee. And you see Pat Johnson in Return in Enter the Dragon back in the day when he's like,
Okay.
"You got the money, Roper." That guy is an amazing fight choreographer who has that Bruce Lee mentality of treating martial arts choreography with the character and the story. He choreographed The Karate Kid. He
Okay.
choreographed Ninja Turtles 1990 and Ninja
Wow.
Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze. And then he choreographed Mortal Kombat. So
Wow.
that movie, on top of a stellar cast, because they actually had the actors train 6 months
That's a
in
good
martial
thing.
arts to do the role, something that they
Bro.
don't do.
Right.
And that's why Sonya, she had little fight scenes because she was added on later. They were working with Cameron Diaz. She was going to do a breakout role as Sonya, but she injured her
What?
ankle. Yeah, she
Mhm.
injured her ankle, and they had to recast her. So Bridget Nielsen, she got the role of Sonya later on. So they didn't give her as many fight scenes because she didn't train enough for it. So like, all right, you'll be the one
But
that's
she, you
kidnapped.
know what? She did a good job, even though they
She
didn't
did
give
a great
her.
job.
Yeah, she really
And
did.
then
I
and
was
then that's why we saw Cameron Diaz move into The Mask, and that was her breakout role. But so
wow.
that movie has so much technical, that movie is where I feel the committee was
Hmm.
committed to the product and they worked well together. And to
Okay.
me, back then I was like, all right, I want to be a filmmaker. That's when I had my filmmaking dreams.
Okay.
So that movie encompassed all my hopes and dreams for cinema and all everything I liked in something that's a franchise. So that movie
Okay.
will always be number one as video game stuff
That's a good one.
for
That's
me.
a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mordecai,
After
yeah, I would say I've watched that Mordecai Kombat one movie. My uncle had it over my grandma's house years ago, and I remember just watching that movie every
mm-hmm.
time when I felt like I wanted to watch Mordecai. I'm like, all right, Mordecai, but here we go again.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, it was the story, the fighting choreography, definitely for sure, and even just Shang Tsung, man, just the story of Shang.
Oh, he's my
Your
favorite actor now,
sword is
dude.
mine.
uh,
Yeah, so
uh,
I mean, and you know what? I think Mordecai Kombat, because I didn't like, I don't know if you liked the new one that came out,
I
the new
don't.
line. Yeah, I didn't really care for it either.
I like the casting. I just felt
Mhm.
it was sloppy as hell, dude.
It
And I hated the main
was.
character.
It
The main
was.
character, like, oh, I don't know. He talks to his wife. He's like, something weird's going on. I have to find out what it means. You're gonna leave your wife and kid for something you don't know? Who does that?
Yeah, I
Bad
felt,
fathers. That's what. So I hated that guy.
and then you know what? I thought
It was
the
so corny
character.
too, but oh,
Yeah, I think the character that they made, this additional character, Cole. You know who I thought that was originally? You're gonna laugh. I thought that was a new version of Johnny Cage. I really did. I'm like, because
he'd probably be better as Johnny Cage, dude. That character is such a. Can I curse on this channel? I don't know.
well, you
All right, I
cursed a
won't
little
do.
bit on there, yeah.
All right. All right. The main character is such a biznatch to me because everyone got a power, right? Everyone got
Yeah,
a power. What was his
right.
power? Protective armor,
Yeah, pretty much.
and then weapons, so he could punch better. His his power is pretty much getting the bumper lanes on the bowling alley. Great job there. Great job. The only good thing about that movie is Scorpion, Sub Zero. Just watch those scenes, and then you're good.
Yeah, yeah, those were good.
Everything else is booty to me, bro. The whole Sonya and then and Kano, they're supposed to be rivals,
Yeah,
and they're not. And then and then like Kung Lao, who's like one of my favorite characters, comes out
they
of
killed
nowhere
them
to save the
all.
day, and then they
They
let him die,
killed.
And then Raiden's like teleporting everybody whenever he wants. I was like, what did Kung Lao say to Raiden? Where he's like, I'm gonna let you die, bitch.
I said, boy, they did cut
oh,
loud dirty like they did
oh,
Krillin off of Dragon Ball Z.
oh, another problem too.
Yeah,
Jax has this ridiculously short fight with Sub Zero. Sub
Sub
Zero
Zero.
breaks his arms off, leaves him for dead, and in the end, when they decide who's gonna get who, what does
Yeah,
Jax say? I want Mataro. I got a score to settle with him. When? Oh, it should be Sub Zero. Are you guys watching your own movie? Oh,
Warner Brothers should have had another
again, Warner
viewer.
Brothers.
Yeah, they should have had
Oh,
another sit down with that movie. Now their animated movies are good. That have you seen the
yeah,
MK?
yeah.
Baby? Yeah, those are really
Yeah,
good.
I didn't
Yeah.
see the fourth one, but the one, the future one where shoot, the blind guy, what's his name? Kenshi?
Kingston, yeah.
Yeah, the one with him, and then the second one where Liu Kang's the leader, the main, and then the first one where Scorpion's the main man.
Yeah.
That's how you should have made those movies.
Yeah, true. Look,
so
Eric
I
said they all had different
I love.
scripts, pretty much.
Yeah,
Eric
they
said,
did. They did. Again.
oh
Uh,
man. Yeah, I gotta say, for me, 90s movies. Now, this one wasn't as great as Mortal Kombat. It had a comical relief too. Now, I will say the guy that played Bison did a great job. The
Street
first
Fighter.
Street Fighters movie that came out, it was
Uh,
cheesy.
It was super cheesy. Like a epic fight would happen, then they'd interrupt it. An epic fight
Right,
would happen, and then they'd interrupt it.
interrupted.
But they had some good cheesy moments, like
Yeah, they did.
when the bus was coming to their tent that the bad guys were watching, and Zangief's like, "Quick, change the channel. You can't beat that line. That's great. Look, that saved the movie for me. That movie's I'll get that movie on Blu-ray. And Raul Julia just had fun with the role.
Yeah,
Everyone
he
else
did.
was booty though. But
They
but
said God. They said my man Claude John Van Damme. They said he was on drugs playing God. I was like, what? I
I
said,
believe it.
yeah, I
Like
believe
Guile is your all-American dude, you know? And half the lines I couldn't even understand Van Damme, you know?
it.
Because he's kind of like Sylvester Stallone, where he's like, but he has his own.
Right.
I forgot his lines,
Now,
but he's like, I'm going to stay here. It's like some things don't match, you know? It's like, I don't know,
yeah.
but
Yeah, I would say that one was another one, even though it wasn't like Mortal Kombat, I did enjoy. They had another 90s movie, and I talk about this one all the time. It's the Phantom of Nintendo. The Kirby live movie was trash.
I
Yeah,
skipped that one, bro.
you can't find it anywhere. I looked on
Dang.
IDM. It's like the ghost of Nintendo. Nintendo did the thing, no snap, like delete this from
Wow.
our database.
Like, what do
I
you look like?
seen
Was
it.
he like the Kool-Aid guy running around, or?
No, Kirby looked like one of the remember the Gremlins movie when you had Gizmo? That's
Oh,
what he
okay.
looked like, but it was smaller. I was like, that's Gizmo
Dang.
2.0. Yeah, it was
Man.
bad. It was bad.
Oh, so
But
to answer
yeah,
your question, so the top 5 video game movies, Mortal Kombat's
mhm.
number 1. I'll
Okay,
do Sonic the Hedgehog number
okay,
2 as number
okay.
2, Super
All
Mario
right.
Brothers as number 3,
Okay,
Sonic the Hedgehog 1 as that one,
okay.
and there's another video game movie I like that was decent. I don't want to
Okay.
put any Resident Evil movies on that list because that's all guilty pleasure. None of that is going on there.
I know. I figured you probably would.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. There's another one. I just can't think of it because it's hard.
can't
Video
think
game
of.
movies have a
There's a
hard
lot
time
of
getting a
video
good
game
movie.
movies out
Because the
now. Yeah.
Tekken, I love Tekken, but that Tekken live action was booty.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, I saw that in college. Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, it was definitely
Okay, I'll
bad.
save the fifth one for when I can find out. I'll
Okay.
comment on this channel what that fifth one is when I think about
Okay.
it. It's somewhere in my mind. I just can't think right now.
Bro, say you know, yeah, Aries, the Kirby film, they did the Infinity Snap with it. They said, get that out our database. Don't post
Yeah.
that nowhere.
Oh, okay. This is unofficial, but there's a movie called Dragon Tiger Gate. It's
Mhm.
based. It's a Hong Kong film based
Yeah.
off of a Hong Kong comic that looks like
Okay.
a copy of Double Dragon.
Oh
So it's not
wow.
official. So the
Yeah.
fifth spot, I'll put Dragon Tiger Gate because that's my
Okay.
pretend Double Dragon live action movie. It's on
Okay.
Netflix. You know,
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
watch party it soon. Damn it, I'll do it. I'll add it to my thing so we can all watch it. So yeah, that'll be my top 5 video game movies.
Wow.
The
Yeah,
last one's unofficial.
I remember
But that
Double
movie was
Dragon.
booty too. I don't know what's worse, Double Dragon or Super
Yeah, it
Mario.
was.
No, no,
It
Double
was.
Dragon's worse. I'd rather watch Super Mario Brothers with John Leguizamo because John
Yeah.
Leguizamo is one of my favorite
Then
actors.
Double
So
Dragon.
I'll watch that more than Double Dragon, even though they got Mark Dacascos in Double Dragon. But f that movie.
Yeah, that movie was bad. I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Oh.
Yeah, I couldn't
Ooh.
believe what they did. That's like, wait, why are they like this?
I
I
know,
can
right?
only,
I'm supposed to like it.
yeah, I was thinking like the only person that was memorable was the villain. My man's that had the powers and stuff.
Yeah.
He was the
Yeah,
only one that was.
dude.
Yeah, it was like
He was in
everybody else.
Terminator.
Yeah,
Again, the villain had the best line when I remember when they were putting him in the cop car, you know, because
uh-huh.
they arrested him,
Yeah, they
and then he had
arrested him.
one line looking at the heroes. He's like, "You think I'm bad? Where do you see my lawyers?" Ha 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 ha!
Right.
And that's it. I was like, "Dude, that's kind of cool."
Yeah,
Gotta
that
give it
really
up to him.
is. Yeah,
Uh,
so for me, video game movies, I would have to say I will put Sonic 1 up there.
hey,
Super Mario Brothers, the animated one. I did
that one was
enjoy that
so
one.
good. I like that one.
Um, the Tekken movie that came out, I want to say in the 2000s. That was the animated movie. That was actually
Oh
really
wait,
good.
we're adding animated.
Yeah, we can
Oh yeah,
add
we
them.
are in it. Okay, so my fifth one is Tekken, the blood type of
Okay.
story or whatever. There you go.
Yeah,
That's
that
my
was
official
pretty
fifth
good.
one. But I
Okay,
still want Dragon Tiger to get in there just for sake of it. Double Dragon.
and then I would say MK Legends. I did like the MK Legends as well because to
But that
me
was like a series though, right? That wasn't really a
well
movie.
this animated trilogy. Well, animated
Oh,
yeah,
you mean that one? Okay, I was
yeah.
thinking of Mortal Kombat Legacy. That was really good.
Oh yeah, that was really good. Yeah, I did see
Only
that.
season 1. Season 2 got booty. But
Yeah, season two
yeah.
was. Yeah, I did
Yeah, it
see
all
that.
felt like Power Rangers where it was all shot at the park. You know? I was like, all right, you guys aren't trying anymore. But yeah,
Yeah,
I forgot Double Dragon Legacy was I mean, Mortal Kombat Legacy was really good.
Legacy. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I saw the first season.
In
Yeah,
fact, I
yeah,
think they had the best Sub-Zero Scorpion fight ever.
yeah. They did. Yeah, you're
That
right.
was good. They went
That was
hard.
pretty intense. Yeah,
I
definitely.
think the recent movie kind of copied from them too.
Okay.
You know, with the whole freezing the sun and then Scorpion
Yeah,
finds the sun and he's all angry. But go
yeah.
on, what else is on your list?
So my next question is, I guess we could keep it fighting games. How do you feel about this new Street Fighters movie that's coming out? I don't know if you heard about it or not, but it's a live adaptation.
I'm like, you know what? Let's bring it on. You guys already did that first one.
Yeah.
We suffered through that, and then the Chun. I'm a big Chun Li fan. She's one of my favorite video game characters of all time.
Okay.
Like even as female heroes, I like Red Sonja and Chun Li. You know, Wonder Woman, you're down here. Sorry, but it's between Chun Li and Red Sonja, but mostly Chun Li. She's my girl.
Okay.
Because she was the only kung fu character on that roster when it was like only 8 fighters. Because I like kung
Yeah.
fu, so that's why I always loved Chun Li. So Chun Li, that movie, the Street Fighter Legends, the Legend of Chun Li,
Okay.
uncut. That's a
Okay.
guilty pleasure of mine. That was not too bad. It could be better, but they did pretty good with what they had.
What they had, true.
And so if they could split the difference
Hmm.
from Chun Li and that web series, the one with Street Fighter,
Yeah, that was pretty
that
good.
was
Yeah.
good.
That's
That was really good.
they have that on Crunchyroll. If you're looking
Yeah,
for it, they have it
yeah.
on.
And
Yeah,
I think you could buy
Crunchyroll.
it digitally. So if they could split the difference between that Chun Li movie and that one, I
Mhm.
think we'll get something really, really solid.
Yeah, I
Uh,
know there's a YouTuber that's actually producing it, surprisingly, and he already has a cast, so they already have like people that are attached to the roles. I said, wow, YouTuber creating a Street Fighters movie? Interesting.
Yo,
Anything
yo, if that's yo, we gotta cheer it on because yo,
yeah,
call us up for we can help you out at Hollywood.
yeah,
Come
that's
to us,
dope
you know.
though. I thought that was dope that they didn't go with a
See, I didn't
traditional
know that,
director. Yeah, they didn't go with a traditional director. They went with someone that had an appreciation for Street Fighter. So I thought that was dope. I was like, a YouTuber, that's a different take. And maybe this be successful when it comes down to it. Yeah.
dude. Yeah, because I'm shooting my own movie. I've been working on since 2016. It'll be on
Okay.
my film channel. I have like 3. I have one for my Bollywood dancing. I haven't
Okay.
done anything with it since, but
Okay.
you can see me unmask and dance and all that. But
Okay.
I have another one. I'm not gonna make public yet because I want to put my movies on there. I do short
Okay.
films. I'll put
Right.
my stuff on there, and then this is my main channel. That's Umbrella on there. All of that. So if eyes are coming to YouTube, then I better not blink. I gotta step up my game now.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's good
dope
to know. I
though.
didn't know that. Wow, there's hope for
Yeah.
me yet.
Yeah. So I said that's dope that instead of them going with a regular director, they went with someone that is probably a gamer and someone that really
Mm.
love the Street Fighters franchise versus, hey, we found a director. Hey, here you go. Come on over here. It's like, okay, this definitely a different take. I'm pretty sure it's a risk for Capcom because remember, Capcom hasn't done an actual animated, well, I should say animated, a live adaptation movie in quite a while since the 90s.
Wait, what
So
about Resident Evil ones? That's Capcom
well,
too.
okay, yeah, Resident Evil. You're right, Resident Evil, but I'm just saying Street Fighter wise. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
It's been a
yeah, Street Fighter wise, yeah.
yeah, so yeah,
Yeah, it's
Capcom, you're
true.
right with Resident Evil, but yeah.
Because
So
the Street Fighter V, the animated series was the anime, not that
yeah.
they made 2 versions, one for America and the anime. The
Hmm.
anime was really good, except towards the end, it lagged on because there was a writer's strike. So it was very slow and a lot of filler. It was like DBZ filler cringe, but that was a pretty good series too.
Okay.
But that came out in the early 2000s, I think. But man, you got me interested in the Street Fighter movie. I hope it does
Yeah,
well, man.
man.
That could be
Yeah,
cool.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it. Yes, like I said, I'm like a YouTuber, so that's different. I'm like, at least they're giving someone a chance to do something that they haven't done. So, hey,
Yeah.
hard to Capcom for doing that because they could have just been like, "No, we don't want you to do it," but they were with it.
Yeah, because that Street Fighter Assassin's Fist web series, that was I think that was independent too.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then the quality
yeah,
of it. Yeah, because
right.
that actor for Ryu was casted as Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin
Yeah,
Tarantino's film.
yeah. I know you're talking about. Yeah,
So he got some eyes on it. So that was
yeah.
interesting.
Okay.
Wow.
so, so my next question is very interesting. How do you feel about superhero movies being on the decline over video game movies like rising in popularity? Do you think that's a good thing or a bad
It's a
thing?
good thing because screw the superhero movies. They're all made by committees now. They screwed over all my directors. Warner Brothers, how do you lose Nolan? They screwed over Zack Snyder. They stole his
Yeah.
ideas. And then when they ran out of stealing his ideas, you felt the bootiness. So, they
Yeah,
done
they
to
did.
themselves. They can go down. I'm over it. The only superheroes I like are the Japanese tokusatsu,
Okay.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, their
Okay.
comic book, their superhero, pretty much I'm done with the capes at now. Unless like they bring back my directors, Chris Nolan or Zack Snyder.
Okay.
Um,
What about the
and
Russo brothers?
no, the Russo brothers are okay, but the problem is it's Disney. Disney has so many rules, and I feel how I feel about Disney is how I feel about WWE. They have a certain style they cannot break out of, and like
Hmm.
WWE has a certain drama performance role, as I explained about the wrestling.
Right.
But Disney, they have this template, and I'm not trying to knock any type of themes because themes are great, but they
Right.
have a template that I call the princess template, you know, and
Okay.
they apply that princess template on everything. Why? Because their princess template has been their most successful template for all these years. Their biggest champion, like if I'm looking at wrestling, the biggest champion is Elsa. Kids
Right.
are still singing "Let It Go." They won't let it go. I'm like they're singing "Let It Go." I'm like, you let it go. Get to a new song. How about some Dora? But anyways, it's like that Disney template is how they could tell their stories, focus on whatever character, but it's still the same type of journey of like, you got to do this, you got to believe in yourself. And it
Right.
doesn't have to be guy or girl, but it's a Disney
Yeah.
princess template. And then
Right.
they're like, okay, you could do it. And then there's this extra thing when they really believe in themselves. And then at some point in the movie, the stakes kind of dwindle down. It doesn't get as threatening. And it can happen with the
Okay.
Thor thing, where it's almost more the stakes are kind of comically in the way or
I think.
conveniently in their favor. And then
Yeah.
I feel like the movie then gets predictable and softer. Even in their action, it's more of like a ballet. Like it's
Yeah.
not really hard hitting. I really
Yeah. I
miss
think.
the days of like Captain America Civil War. After that, I feel like it plateaued
Yeah. I
even for
think with
Marvel. Even though they do a
with.
great, the production's great, looks great. The
Yeah. It
sets are
looks
good, the
great. Yeah.
costumes are nice.
Yeah.
The casting's top notch. These high build actors. Some of the performances
Mhm.
good, but the story, the execution, the stakes, the challenges, it's not there anymore. And then the grit,
Okay.
everything's too clean. Everything's way too clean.
Says a little too
Like
candy
some
for
of the
you.
streets, they look like the set of Friends. It's way too clean. You know, and I just can't do it.
Okay.
So Disney, you know, Warner Brothers and Disney with them. I don't know. I can't do it.
I think, overall, I think DC, when it comes to like their animated stuff, I like a lot more of their animated movies. Not gonna say all of them, but most of them
Yeah,
I
yeah.
tend to enjoy. There are some that are hit or miss. With Marvel, they haven't really did animated, but their live adaptations, it all depends. You know what I'm saying?
Their
Depends on the
old Marvel was
director.
great. Do you remember Hulk versus?
Yeah, I remember seeing
That
that.
was dope. I love
Yeah,
that one so much.
yeah. I
They
think
got
my
Deadpool
problem.
perfectly there. That was so
Yeah, I
good.
think my problem with Disney, and I've said it before, is they need to get back into doing animated films. I mean, they have with Miles Morales, but that's Sony,
Yeah.
Marvel Association. But I'm talking about with them just doing like maybe a new animated Incredible Hulk movie since we're not getting an Incredible Hulk movie anymore because they already decided that hey, it's too costly with the CGI. I'm like, can we at least get an animated? I'll take an
Yeah.
animated Incredible Hulk movie, animated Luke Cage, and all that stuff. But yeah, it seems like they need to get back into animated. It's like DC's doing okay with it. Why can't Disney and Marvel go like the show? What if I would say it's decent? I'm like, and it's showing you that they can get into animated. They just choose not to do
What if
movies.
it's clever though? Because it's a
Yeah,
series that's supposed to be not. It's like never canon. Like even the
yeah,
comic series when they came out, it was never canon. So
canon, right,
you had no expectations. You're like, all right, what are you going to do now? So they had
right.
that liberation. So
Yeah,
uh, that was kind
yeah.
of a cheat code for that one to be okay.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. And I'm like, I can see Marvel, if they really wanted to, they can definitely put out some anime movies. I mean, we got S-Man 97. Like I said, we
That's
got What
surprising.
If. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you guys can come out. And then they got the other Spider-Man show that's coming out, animated Spider-Man show. So I'm like, y'all can do some movies.
Yeah, I think they can. I think sometimes they do. There'll be a surprise there every now and then. Like even with Star Wars, I really like the Andor series. It was a
Yeah,
bit of a slow burn, but
yeah,
I recommend seeing it in 3 episodes each. It would always introduce a new adventure, introduce characters, and something bomb happened in the third one, and then it was that
right.
template. So
Yeah.
once I figured that out, I watch Andor like that. But I like that. But that again, that was a
Yeah,
fine, well-oiled machine. The people who
yeah,
did Rogue One were working on that one. So
right. Yeah, it's
every
every
now and
one of
then you'll
us.
get some good ones, but by Disney on its own, same with Warner Brothers. I don't believe you guys. I'll wait
Yeah.
for the next fairy tale.
And certainly one of us said animated DC is great. The live action DC is toast. Yeah, that's what they're rebooting it. That's the main reason why DC and Marvel are rebooting their universes. I
Yeah,
think
I'm
the
not gonna be here. I
superhero.
can't do anymore. I'll wait for your. You know what I do like about these movies coming out? I watch
Mhm.
my content creators like you. I enjoy more what you guys think about it than actually
Right.
seeing it.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you guys watching it for me. I'll watch
Right.
your reviews always and
Yeah.
save my money.
I
Because then,
I
if
think
something
that
does surprise me, I'll know it from trusted sources like you guys, rather than rotten vegetables. And then I'll be like, all right, then I'll invest in it.
yeah, I think the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie, I think that's going to be good. It looks pretty good. It
Oh
seems like
yeah, that one does look pretty
yeah. Yeah,
interesting.
it looks pretty interesting. So that might be the one I go see because I didn't go see Captain Marvel 2. I wasn't impressed with the first movie. I know a lot of people that love Captain Marvel 1. I wasn't impressed. I
I
thought it
haven't
was a
even
boring
seen
Marvel
Captain
movie.
Marvel.
Yeah, the first one I didn't like. I saw it in theaters. Second one I never did see, and people were like, "Oh, it's better than the first one." Like I didn't really care for the first one. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna bet on going to see the second one in theaters. I mean, I had Disney Plus, but I don't now. So I'm like, well, I still haven't seen it. I'll just wait till it hit cable. Like I'm just not interested in seeing this movie at all. But yeah, the Wolverine, and you know what? I've been wanting to see Wolverine Deadpool for a movie. And I guess Ryan Reynolds finally got Hugh Jackman to jump aboard. I mean, I guess the
She
money
was
must
cool
have
with
been good.
that. We got
Hmm.
Ryan Reynolds on board, and he's really trying to take care of it. And he's got
Yeah,
enough name power, fame power, and creative
right.
control
Hmm.
to give us something that he would. Because he's like us. He's a nerd and a geek. I mean,
Yeah,
I can trust someone who gets his inspiration from Alf.
right.
He loves Alf, and you look
Yeah.
at the show Alf and look at him. Oh, it makes sense. So I can trust that. That's a viable. That's a reliable source. So yeah, I'll
Right.
f with Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I said, man, this might be the one from Marvel that might be worth seeing. Because, like I said, I haven't seen a Marvel movie. I think the last Marvel movie I went to go see was Ant-Man and Wasp, I believe. No,
Oh, nice.
Wakanda Forever and Ant-Man and Wasp. Those were the
Yeah,
last.
Wakanda Forever was my last one I had to see because
Yeah,
man, I like the idea that they were passing the torch to
yeah,
the sister. In
yeah.
that story really appealed to me. And that
Yeah,
soundtrack
it
was
was.
good. That
Yeah,
soundtrack was
yeah,
great.
yeah. That's some great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black
But
Panther
they
has some
had a
dope
little
songs.
too much Disney princess template in there. I saw it, so I was like, okay. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was decent for what it was. For it to be a sequel, I was like, I wasn't for sure. I'm like, how they gonna pull that off without the main guy? I was like, man, because I
No, but
saw
I
a
like
couple.
the twist that it was Killmonger that she saw in the vision because she
Yeah,
was lost from her path. I
right,
kind of like that story because she was so lost from her path that an enemy showed up from her family line
right,
instead of her brother. If she wasn't lost on her path, it could have been her brother that showed up.
right,
Because the idea of the vision is someone shows up that you need to get you on track. So
right,
I like that story element wise. I was like, ooh, you surprised me
right.
there. That was clever. That was good. And Michael
Mm-hmm.
B. Jordan's awesome. So give
Oh
him
yeah,
give him
he's a
jobs. Give him
phenomenal
jobs.
actor.
He's
Yeah,
and a great director. Rocky 3 was
yeah,
good.
he's starting to become. Yeah, I see. Yeah, yeah, because he started off as executive producer for like a couple shows. I was like,
Mm.
okay, right. I said, okay. I said, Michael B. Jordan not playing.
No, he's good.
Yeah, he's good. I remember seeing him in The Wire. I think that was the first thing I saw him in was The Wire.
Oh, that was a good show too.
Yeah, that was a good show. They had like a spin-off, like a I guess you could say like a
It did.
continuation series that's on Mass, but I couldn't really get into it. It was more like showing the law enforcement side of things. It was like, so this is a continuation, like this is a different angle.
It's kind of like those video games like
Yeah,
that's a spin-off, but it doesn't
yeah,
really affect the main video games you follow,
right.
like Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks or Mortal Kombat Special Forces.
Yeah, special forces,
It's
right.
optional if you want that in the series.
Right. Oh
uh,
man. So my next question is how do you balance, man, when it comes to YouTube and kind of just, doing things? Is it harder to find a balance or is it not? I know some people find
it
it a struggle.
No, no, this it is a struggle now and then, but I like it because it keeps me for me on sharp. So,
Okay.
um, uh, my essential thing is I'm a filmmaker and I'm producing my own independent films, but
Right.
I'm doing it out of pocket. So a lot of my shoot dates are spread out and it's small, and it takes a lot because the one I'm doing now is more ambitious than I thought.
Okay.
So
That's what's up. Yeah,
I
that's a
have a
great
lot of
plan.
downtime to work on it when I
Hmm.
can work on it,
Right.
and um so when I do content creation, I get to have time to work on something new with editing. I get
Right.
to put something out. I get to engage with people. I get to talk about what inspires me to do what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
for me personally, it keeps me sharp
Okay.
and keeps my creativity focused and fine tuned because filmmaking is essentially video content you're making.
Yeah,
So
it really
it,
is.
it
Yeah.
helps me stay creative and stay
Okay.
expressive, because if you lose your voice, I think if you're a musician, dancer, poet, writer, filmmaker, I think you really need to always be in practice of how to creatively use your voice, how to creatively express yourself.
Okay.
Because I could do it all I can in martial arts or training, but when you're telling a story, I think you need to keep that creativity fine tuned. And
Okay.
also, when I'm doing these conversations, I'm being more honest with myself. Because then,
Right.
if I put more honesty in my work, the sincerity gets stronger. So for me, it keeps me stronger.
Okay.
Secondly, if it does take off, then I could ditch my 8 to 5 job, and that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, uh, it just keeps me busy, and I need to stay busy for
Okay.
that. And
Yeah, it does.
I like the challenge. I don't mind the
Yeah,
challenge.
yeah, it definitely does
Keeps me out of
boost
trouble because I don't go to the
creativity.
clubs. I don't got money to go to Vegas and party. It's like, no, I need that money to do this film shoot.
Yeah.
So, because I used to party hard in my college days, and
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
like, well, if I could spend so much money into just having a weekend that I forget about, maybe I could put my time and effort and resources into
Into
something that
other.
lasts longer and be more self-fulfilling. And if other people enjoy it, then I feel I'm helping humanity, because I'm a bit of an activist. I don't like what's going on in Gaza. I'm all about free Palestine. So if I
Okay.
could like do some entertainment that has some inspirational value, then maybe
Hmm.
it'll help us get through some hard times. It gets me
Okay.
out of hard times. So all in
Okay.
all, I welcome the challenge.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. It does
Because
boost
naturally, I'm a
creativity.
lazy guy. I'd rather be on the TV binging anime, and
So you,
that's not
so
good for
you,
my health. I'm 44. I need to be active, yo.
so you like the what's my man's over Naruto Shikamaru?
Yeah, yeah, dude. I saw that guy. I was like, "Ooh, I gotta be careful. That might be me."
You're like, what a drag.
Yeah, yeah. I want to be like Kakashi. I did all my hard work. Let me check on my show and watch the young people do their job.
Right. Yeah, but it does boost creativity. Like I said before, I did I actually had a channel. I was more into like painting and drawing and stuff. Like anime was
Dude, that's
definitely
awesome.
yeah. So anime I've been into for quite a while since like I was 7. I seen Dragon Ball, and I was just like into it. I was like, man, what is this new storytelling? This is different. This is foreign. And then it became popular and stuff. But yeah, it does boost your creativity being a content creator. It is challenging. I'm not gonna lie. There have been
Mm,
times where I'm like, man, this is kind of rough, but I gotta push through or figure out another way to work. To make things work to some degree, and sometimes it's not always easy. There was a time where I was using my thumbnail app, the app that I used to make thumbnails, and it just stopped working, bro. And I'm like, what am
oh,
I gonna do?
oh
And like,
no.
and you know, and that was the dilemma because I remember people like, "Hey, what happened to the video?" I'm like, "Hey, look, something unexpectedly came. Like I was just about to put out the thumbnail, wouldn't upload or anything." And maybe technology does have its pros and cons with apps. So,
Yeah.
like the thumbnail app I was using, like a couple days later, it went back to working. I don't ask me what happened.
Ooh.
I just was like, let me reinstall it and see if and put it back on my phone. I was like, this works now. Like, what happened? Like, it didn't give me no
It's
update or
weird like that.
anything. Yeah, so that was the other thing. I did like a review on the 50 Cent show years ago. And what happened was literally YouTube wouldn't upload it. It was the show where my man was in jail for a crime he didn't commit. It was based
Mm-hmm.
on a true story. And 50 Cent turned it into a TV series. And I thought it was a really good TV series because it showed you that this man was innocent. His friends turned on him while he was in jail and stuff. And YouTube was like,
Damn.
you ain't uploading this, buddy. I was like, I was so ready, bro. Like, let me hit the upload button. It was like,
So it just didn't happen, or they give you a warning or a strike?
No, they didn't give me no warnings or nothing, bro. It just went up.
Dang, they stopped you.
And then the Debo, what TV show review? Oh man, it was terrible, man.
Oh man.
Integrity 101 said he wants to hear more about Kojay's movies. You got any movies coming, man? Any
Oh
short
no, just the
films?
one I'm working on. It's
Okay.
taken all my time and energy. I even had a colleague from a long time ago. He hit me up. He's like, "Hey, I would like you to bring your dance troupe and direct some choreography for some live performances." He's like, "I
Hmm.
can't. I gotta finish this. If I do that,
Okay.
I'll be butter spread on too much bread." So, but
That's a good saying.
yeah, but I'll tell you about this movie though. I'm making.
Okay.
Essentially, it is a prequel to a comic series I started drawing since I was 11, drawing
Okay.
and writing,
Okay.
and I stopped writing it because it takes a lot of time, and I'm doing more YouTube stuff. But
Right.
I have the outline of this whole story. It's its own world. I have like 200 different characters in it because
Ah.
I'm 44, so I've been writing it for 33 years.
Okay.
So now, granted, when I was 11 to 15, a lot of those stories were stupid because you got to look at the
At least
age
you're
range.
honest about it.
Yeah, no, no. I would go back and read. I was like, oh, okay, I need to have a drink to read this, and it's like stupid funny. Um,
Yeah.
but what I did is I took a break, and then in high school, after taking some literature classes and creative writing classes, I
Hmm.
did a thing where I went back and I rewrote the old ones. I took what
Oh,
happened,
okay.
and then I just retold the story to make more sense of it, and then I expanded what happened after that. So then I started essentially as a kid, I just wrote my own comics to have violence, an excuse for action scenes. I was like, I want to
Yeah.
see this happen. Da da da.
Yeah.
Then as I got older, I was like, well, meaningless violence is actually bad. So
Okay.
I decided to keep the exciting violence but add story. So the drama, I was starting to focus on character development, world building, plot,
Right.
and all this stuff that my stuff was suffering because I'm a
Okay.
kid. Kids
Right.
don't really think much of that. So from high school up into college days, up until I started working in Hollywood, is when I was making all these comics or entertainment business. I don't want to say I work in
Okay.
Hollywood. That's not right. I have
Okay.
this huge clump of story
Right.
that I want to make as films, but I don't have the budget because the stuff I put in it, it requires like Lord of the Rings type level, whatever Zack Snyder level stuff. I
Right.
don't have that budget. So what I decided, after I saw BVS,
Hmm.
I saw BVS as like a prequel to the Justice League as a whole. and as a
Oh wow.
prequel, because if you look at BVS, it's really these key iconic three DC characters coming together for the first time, and
Right.
then the whole world building of that DC world was set up by
Right.
one director.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I looked at BVS as a prequel to the whole DC universe. So
Oh
then
wow.
when I was like, I want to do stories of my comics, so I got the idea in 2016 to write this story of a little trilogy of
Right.
stories that
Mm-hmm.
I could shoot now. That's a prequel to all my stuff, like it happened
Okay.
before all my stuff. So that way, I have more creative room because it's like the prequels of Star Wars. It's like we went further
Right.
beyond what we knew of Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. So my idea is
Right.
like I'll shoot this little story here and I'll write it so it could be something that I can afford to make. And
Okay.
when it's done, if it goes somewhere, either way, it starts the direction for where I can go with telling that story I've written
Right.
for a long time.
Okay.
And I really like Zack Snyder because Zack Snyder is doing what I've always been trying to do as a storyteller, except he's been successful.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I was like, wow, that's cool. So it can be done. But even someone at his level is having difficulties with studios. So I'm here and I'm having difficulties with just budget because I got to pay bills. I don't have no
Right.
studios, but I still have the struggle. So if he could do it
Yeah.
at his level and still have complications, me having complications of bills, funding, and stuff, but I have
Right.
no one telling me what to do,
Right.
what's holding me back from trying to achieve my goals? So this
Right.
movie I've been working on, it'll be 3 episodes, and the fourth episode is all the episodes put together with extended scenes. And
Okay.
then that'll be the template going forward. If it doesn't go forward, I have other stories to do after that. That now, after doing this big thing, I know how
Yeah.
to budget it. So going forward, I'll budget my next films so I could shoot them in probably 1 or 2 months, post
Okay.
production for 1 or 2 months, and
Mm-hmm.
then 1 or 2 months will be out. So I'll have a
All
rhythm.
right.
So after this big thing is out, I'll have more movies come out, different stories, but I hope to continue this one. If I can't continue this one, at least I've cemented in the ground my story to
Yeah.
go at it at some angles later on when I can.
Right.
So that's been the plan, and that's what that movie is. Without telling you what it's about, it's kind of like
Okay.
surprising,
No
but
spoilers,
yeah,
man. That's
yeah.
okay.
And I found my lead actress in 2017, and
Okay.
I've done martial arts for 13 years of my life training, and I still
Okay.
practice. What I
That's
used to
great.
do is I used to train actors in performance, dance, and fighting, just a
Mm-hmm.
little bit, like just small actors. So not small
Yeah.
actors, but actors who get, background work and stuff that I do at my level when I
Okay.
was. So I worked with her for a year, and then I
Mm-hmm.
added the cast when we got close to shoot these scenes, and I trained some of them. And then I started shooting in 2018 up until now. And then COVID really hurt me, but because we had like a two and a
Yeah.
half year break, and God bless my actors
Yeah.
for coming back. I had some roles I had to recast like 3 or 2 times, and
Yeah.
it's been through a struggle, but I have 6 more shooting days with actors to do. Then I have to do
Okay.
a bunch of pickup shots, and maybe end of this year or beginning of next, you'll
All
see it
right.
premiere because I'm putting
Okay.
it on my channel for free for people to watch. So
Oh, that's
that's
good,
my movie.
man.
That's what I've been doing. It's been a long haul, and in that time, I petitioned to release a Snyder cut. I've done some my YouTube content. I've been staying
Yeah.
alive, keeping afloat, being creative, and being passionate. I think being passionate is the most important thing if we're doing
Yeah. You
anything that's
gotta be
creative
passionate.
related,
Yeah.
or even
Yeah.
your
Definitely.
voice. You gotta be
Yeah.
passionate.
Yeah. You gotta
So
be
yeah, that's
passionate.
it.
Yeah, definitely. So, my next question is, what are some of your director influences, man? Like whether it's the cinematography or kind of just the camera angles or
All right, I'll tell you. My number one inspirational director of all time is Jim Henson.
whoo,
Always Jim
okay,
Henson.
okay,
He had his own fascination of entertaining people and telling stories with sock puppets, and he
okay.
decided to go with that. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
he
The
gave us the
Muppets.
Muppets. He gave
Yep.
us Sesame Street. He spent like many years working on Dark Crystal, and that movie it's in my top 10, not my number one movie, but
Okay.
as my favorite director, that's like a work of art. And then when Netflix picked it up to do a prequel of it, oh, they
Hmm.
did him justice.
Okay.
And Jim
All
Henson's
right.
work, because Jim Henson
Mhm.
was alive during Ninja Turtles 1,
Yeah.
1990. And then he passed away, and
1990.
Ninja
Yeah.
Turtles 2 was dedicated to him. But as soon
Oh
as he was
wow.
gone, Yeah, as soon as he was gone, you could look at the animatronics of the Ninja Turtles. They were a little bit,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it wasn't smooth. That guy knew performance, how to bring like an inanimate object
Hmm.
and give it life with human performance. And that's my favorite thing. That's what I think anime is about. That's what I think acting is about.
Yeah,
That's what I think dancing is about.
yeah.
Michael Jackson or any
Right,
music artist doing a music video, that's a
right.
short film. That's what that's about.
That's what it's about.
And
Yeah.
Jim Henson has been my dude. After that, other directors like oh shit. Oh, sorry. Uh um Vidhu Vinod Chopra in Bollywood. He was doing some
Okay.
dark, creative cinematography back in Bollywood when they were just doing a bunch of love stories and stuff. He really
Okay.
brought the like Tim Burton set pieces.
To it.
Um,
Okay.
Sanjay Leela Bansali, that director, is also a composer. He
Okay.
composes his own movies in Bollywood, which is amazing. And he's such a maestro. Zack Snyder is a
Okay.
cinematographer who really
Okay.
knows how to take animation and blend it with reality. We
All
rarely
right.
see that stuff. And
Yeah.
Zhang Yimou in
Okay.
uh, Hong Kong, even though the Hong Kong cinema changed when China took over Hong Kong, he still
Yeah.
has that artistic, beautiful wuxia style to all his films. He could
Okay.
do high flying sword action, and he could do life dramas that have no violence at all, and he could balance
Okay.
the two. It's so amazing that he could
Wow.
do that.
Okay.
So, and then Chan-wook Park from South Korea, who did Old Boy, Thirst, a whole bunch of high
Okay.
concept films. I say those are my directors, man. Oh,
Uh,
and Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro is like a Jim
yeah.
Henson 2.0
Yeah.
meets
He
Zack
is.
Snyder to me,
Yeah.
because he
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 is.
could do
Yeah.
the animatronics and the comic book type exciting. He's more Marvel style than graphic novels. I would say Zack Snyder is more graphic novel style,
Yeah.
but the series animated style like Marvel has, Guillermo
Right.
del Toro's like that, and
Yeah.
he has that Jim Henson mix into it. So I would say all those guys are my boys that inspire me to keep going.
No Sam
Oh,
Raimi?
and Spike Lee. Spike Lee, not
Spike Lee?
necessarily his
Okay.
films, but
Mm-hmm.
reading Spike Lee's books have
Mm-hmm.
motivated my focus to run my own production.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
because he would put
Sweet.
out books of the making of his films, and
True. True. He
I,
did.
I
You're
I
right.
just go through them because the best words of advice I have is from Spike Lee. He said, "Always keep making films. Just make sure you don't go broke doing it," and that's kept my
Yeah.
focus strong. So that
That's
comes from
that's it.
Spike Lee. So I have to add Spike Lee in there for sure for
So
that.
no
So
Sam
those are all
no
my
no,
directors.
no
But number
Sam
one is
Raimi?
Jim Henson. Number one is Jim
No,
Henson.
okay, no Sam Raimi. You was like, nah.
No, no, he's cool. I like him. I'm just
It's
not a
cool.
horror guy.
Okay.
But
I like it.
one more, Prabhu Deva. He's
Okay.
a dance choreographer who started making films, and he incorporates dance choreography into all
Okay.
his films. And he does more comedy stuff, lighthearted, but he's brilliant. So
Okay.
okay, I can't forget him. So yeah, I have a list.
Okay. So I like Sam Raimi for the Spider-Man and the Doctor Strange movie. I think my favorite sequence in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Pretty much it's all good, man. My
My
favorite
phone's
part is
dying.
when he did the Beethoven thing, and you can hear the symphony when the Supreme Doctor Strange, and you can see that it's
Mm.
Beethoven. I thought that was a really cool impression. I said, "Yo, this is different. This is unique," and I thought that was really cool that he was able to put the music notes. Like when he used the magic, you saw the music notes, and you just
Mm.
knew it was Beethoven. I was like, man, that was smoothly executed. And
Well,
also
Sam
just how,
Raimi's dope. He's just not one of my inspirations, but
yeah,
he knows atmosphere because
yeah,
he did the Evil Dead movies, and that was the
I
first Evil Dead was
mm-hmm,
a independent film. The second one went to theaters, and
yeah.
he also oversaw a lot of Xena, Warrior Princess, that series, and all
What?
that.
I
Yeah,
never knew that.
that's why his he casted like his brother into it, and his brother's also an actor. So
Yeah,
you get that series saga of action over the top mythological with Xena and Hercules that Sam Raimi's
yeah.
comfortable with,
Okay.
but the horror that and horror no good horror knows how to do atmosphere and
Yeah.
music and intensity.
Mm-hmm.
So you get all that and you throw it on a character like Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
that gives it so much uh
Deaf.
depth and uniqueness.
Yeah,
Even though
I think
Spider-Man is
that's
like it balances it all out because then you can get that horror stuff with the villains, and then that kind of Xena Warrior Princess adventures
yeah.
template with Spider-Man. Because when Doctor Octopus, in the Spider-Man 2, when his
2.
tentacles
Mhm.
were dragging
Right.
everybody, that
Yeah.
reminded me of Evil Dead when the Force was dragging all these people to kill them. The beats were exciting and
Wow.
right there.
See,
So
I've
he's a
never
brilliant
seen
he's a brilliant director. Not my inspirations, but I gotta give credit where credit's due. He's brilliant.
yeah. Yeah, I think for me it was just how he shot the scenes for Spider-Man, like the Toby
Mm,
trilogy. He did a really good job with that. And I think,
I think he
like you
did
said, he
too. Yeah.
showed the character depth and even the villains. Like, I mean, come on, like my man's William Defoe did a great job with Green Goblin. He had that menacing presence, and even when he found out that Peter
Yeah.
was Spider-Man and he's at the dinner with Aunt May, he's like,
Yeah. That was so much fun.
and it's just funny because he really embodied Spider-Man being Spider-Man, and even the villain, like Green Goblin, the itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came so the villains were like he really you could tell that he had an appreciation for the
Mm.
Spider-Man and even Doctor Strange, and I thought that was really cool. You could tell that he was passionate about these characters. Rumor is, I know Tom Holland said that he's doing Spider-Man 4. Sam Raimi's supposed to be directing that. I said, ooh. I said, I can't wait to see that.
That should be good. That should be
If it's
good.
true, you know what I'm saying? He said, just watched Spider-Man 1 and 2 in theaters. People are still loving it, clapping it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that Toby trilogy was amazing. Andrew grew on me. I didn't really care for him until Spider-Man No Way Home. I didn't really like
Oh,
Amazing
really?
Spider-Man. Yeah, to me, he felt like emo Spider-Man. That was my biggest issue
No,
with
no, no,
it.
no. I feel you on that. I did like Andrew Garfield a little bit more,
Yeah,
just because I felt it was another similar take,
yeah.
and I didn't think it was
Mhm.
anything. It was like a neighboring new universe. The main thing I
Okay.
liked about it was he had to make his web shooters. It didn't come out of his skin like
Yeah, they come out
Wolverine.
of skin. Yeah.
And I was like, honestly, they were even to me. And then just
Okay.
that, I was like, all right, that's my boy, Andrew.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
And
all seem
then
the same type of Spider-Man to me. I just
and then
the Tom
with time.
Holland one, I swear, Tom Holland should have been Miles Morales from the beginning. Imagine if it was Miles Morales in Civil War. That could have been cool, man. I
well,
feel
they,
that's
they
a missed
already
opportunity.
they already talked about they're gonna do a Miles Morales live adaptation. I think what they're doing
About
now,
time, but they already
um,
broke my heart. It's over.
what they're doing now, I guess they're gonna phase out the animated Miles Morales movies. There's like 2 more movies coming out for the animated universe movies.
Nice. I like those
Then
ones.
after that, we'll probably get a proper introduction to Miles Morales. He's supposed to be in Spider-Man 4. That's the thing. He's gonna get introduced in Spider-Man 4. And then after that, they'll probably introduce him to have his own standalone movie. So I'm like, that's a good way to go about it. Because I'm like, you can't have a Miles Morales movie, well, not Miles Morales, a Spider-Man 4, and you're introducing Miles Morales' uncle, the Prowler, in it without Miles Morales. It wouldn't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's
So
weird when they did this whole Tom Holland one. They it was like the high school. Oh, okay, I know there's an animated Peter Parker high school one, but
yeah.
look at his friends, and those friends of his
Hmm.
are the Miles Morales friends in the comics.
Pretty much, yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like that. It's like Peter Parker just. It's like semi whitewashing or being lazy with it. It's like
Yeah.
everyone knows Peter Parker, but we want to tell this Miles Morales story. Let's just have a bit of both. I don't know,
Right.
but whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. So it'd definitely be interesting to see though, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
It'd be cool. But yeah, my
Yeah.
phone's at like 7% though. Just so you know.
Okay. Well, all right. So
No,
this
no,
is
no,
it,
no. I don't want
guys.
to push it. I'm just saying.
For the Consecrator Seat, guys. This is episode 8 with Kojay. Hey,
Oh,
thanks,
that's it.
man,
Oh,
for
thank you.
everything, man. I appreciate
No,
it.
this was hella fun. Thank you for having me on here, and you're a
Oh
great
yeah, no
host. Good
problem, man.
questions. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah.
I can't do what you do. I'm still working on that bit.
All
With
right.
questions, I'm always like, you already know, man. So thank you.
Yep. So, all right, guys. Thanks again, Lord. Kojay, excuse me, Kojay, for
Yeah,
tuning in,
Kojay,
man.
thank
I
you.
appreciate it, man. And like I said, go check out his channel, guys. I'll leave the link up, your channel link in the pinned comments. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Like and subscribe to the Illblurred Manic. I know.
All right.
You know where it's at, right here.
Yep. So I'll be back with another consecrator seat in May, guys. So you don't have to wait too long.
Hey,
But
yeah,
thanks
don't make
again,
us wait,
man.
man. I love your content.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it, man. All right, take care.
All right, much love. God bless.
All right, man.